Hello. Now that you're here, fake Alec Kyle Parker, I can begin. Finally. Finally, I can begin the stream. Oh my god, I've been waiting for so long to be able to begin. Hold on. Uh, cough, cough. Let me try to. Oh, is it working? Oh wow, it's working. Let me still experiment with the camera as I'm super ill. Still ill. Unfortunate, but you know, nobody recovers from illness in one day. Okay? It's impossible. How do you like my super cool turtleneck that does not cover my neck? Oh yeah, I'm supposed to be the. You're right. I'm supposed to do the intellectual look. I forgot. The real camera lighting is different from the webcam lighting. The real camera lighting is different from the webcam lighting and it's much better. It is? Oh, it's not orange. That's an improvement, I'd say. I will say that the fact that I'm not orange is a big improvement, okay? The webcam makes me orange, and the regular camera does not. But I have to work on the physical placement of the camera, actually. The problem is the physical placement. Oh, the tripod. Okay, that's a bit too much. Right? What do you think? Do I look like an intellectual? With my super intellectual scarf? I think Lucy is a banana and she needs $20. I do. Among other expenses that I have. Preparing for Ukraine. Oh, wait. Speaking of bananas. It's time for my HRT. Oh my gosh. Oh wow, thank you. Thank you for the $20. I thought you just said that I needed it. I thought you meant somebody else needed to give me $20. Thank you. This goes towards the. Okay, actually, this goes towards my. I'm still paying off the battery, you know, that I use in Ukraine not to get the electricity cut off. So, um, I have a payment to make, and I'm late this month. So, that's a big problem. So, I'm gathering money to make that payment right now. Payment for the EcoFlow. EcoFlow. Payment for the EcoFlow gods. It's a really good piece of equipment and has helped me a lot of the time. So thank you very much. This is my biggest priority right now, actually, because they've given me a warning. I was able to move the deadline for paying a bit, but the deadline's approaching because my deadline is the 24th. So I have 4 days. I have 4 days to gather the amount, basically, which I believe is possible. I'm a great streamer, so I'm an amazing streamer, so I can do it. Also, I've been told to debate people. I've been requested to debate a few people. How do you feel about me debating Andrew Wilson from The Crucible? If you know who that is, how do you feel about that? Andrew Wilson. You know who that is? You know who Andrew Wilson is? There's another person that I've been recommended to debate. West Side Tyler. He smokes a lot. Yeah, I guess. I guess he does. Yes, he does smoke a lot. I'm not gonna debate him out of smoking though. That's his lifestyle choice. That is his choice in life. So I'm probably not going to attempt to debate him out of his smoking, no. You know? Something out of my power. Uh, hmm. I think you'll have to employ some new techniques such as being a bit mean if you're going to debate him. Really? Why do you think that? What about Westside Tyler? Could you see me debate Westside Tyler? Do you think that would be wise? Do you think that would work? Baiting Westside Tyler? Hmm? How well would that work? On homelessness and privacy online. Apparently, according to him, once you've shown your face online, your privacy is forfeit, which I don't agree with in the slightest. Because you'll be debating a guy who thinks women shouldn't be have the right to vote and who admits it. He's like a guy from the 50s. Jesus Christ. Interesting. A challenge. I think he's a rabid transphobe as well. I don't think he'd see me as a. I don't think he accepts my identity at all. Andrew Wilson. I don't think he'd even entertain the idea that I'm actually, you know. Hmm. All right. I think I have some easy content for starters and some simple content to begin with. And I feel like we should do it. We should make an easy react. Do you know who Vegan Gains is? Do you know Destiny? You know Vegan Gains? Oh, that's a thing that I can react to. A debate between Vegan Gains and Destiny. Oh my god, that is such easy content. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. We're gonna squeeze it for all. We're gonna squeeze these lemons. We're gonna squeeze the lemon of content out of this one. Destiny gets into a screaming match with Vegan Gains on CEO killing. Why does Vegan Gains have an opinion on everything? That is so weird to me. Vegan Gains had an opinion on... God, why did he debate with President... Why did he debate President San... Oh, Gaza. Okay. Vegan Gains had an opinion on the Israel-Palestine conflict. Now he has an opinion on the CEO shooting, I guess. That's great. Isn't it? Cool? Isn't that cool? Vegan who is made into content debunking others and made videos when he pretends to be what? What do you mean? What videos when he pretends to be? Huh. Well. What do you know? Well, well, well. Well, well, well. Right, let's watch it then. Hold on. Hold on. Made a video where he acted like a crazy person, like a skit. I know he recorded his grandfather or something. Yeah. That was weird. No. Wrong thing. I'm looking for this. Oh my gosh. How exciting. Exciting? Are you excited? So many movement on the screen. Isn't that right? I'm gonna get our easy content now. We're gonna react for an easy segment we can upload. Hold on. Where is everybody? Where's my most regular viewer in the world? And by that I mean Greater Range. Wow. None of the regulars are here today. It's a good thing that I'm starting with this easy content then. Alright then. I'm putting my headphones on. Maybe somebody will join along the way. Here's hoping. Right, let's go. It's Destiny versus Vegan Gains.
Benefit
really?
ratio.
Do you want to
They might
bet?
get a
Do you want to
tummy
bet?
ache.
Do you want to bet 100 million?
You wanna bet? You wanna bet? You wanna bet? You wanna bet? Like a parrot. 100 billion. You wanna bet $100 brontillion?
Dollars, your entire life's worth, that there won't be any other side
Wait, hold on. He's actually valuing Vegan Gains for a pretty big amount of money.
effects. Bet $100 million, your entire life.
I didn't think that Destiny thought Vegan Gains was worth $100 million. That was Vegan Gains' life worth. $100 million. As an American, you should have an opinion on everything, no matter how dumb your opinion is. Protected by First Amendment, by the way. Cool. Wait, are you an American, Vladimir? Are you an American? Lucy, bring microphone closer to the mouth. Really? It is closer now. Is it not close enough? I cannot speak louder because my throat is bad. I speak louder, but my throat is really bad. And I used the dry shampoo right before this. And in addition to me being ill, Some of the dry shampoo got into my throat. So my throat is double whacked. It's double screwed, you know? It's not in a good place. My throat is in a bad place. It's in a bad spot. It's suffering right now. But it's okay. I'm sacrificing myself for you. Staff Slacker, thank you for the $10. I'm not sure how I've earned this privilege, but thank you very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you very much. All right. Let's start.
Life's worth that there won't be any other side effects discovered for these drugs in the past 20 years? And would you be willing to stake your entire country's
They've
health
been
on the line
market
for that?
for 10 years.
Bet on the market for weight loss? No. Hold on.
seems to be the
You're
case.
using a gut feeling to say that it's justified to murder a CEO? Really?
Yeah, I mean, the guy's not even vegan.
Wait, hold on. Destiny's going to go against the killing of the CEO? I did not see that coming. I genuinely thought that Vegan Gains would be the one sort of being against the killing of the CEO, and Destiny would be the one sort of, you know. Okay, this is interesting. Am I going to align with... I'm going to align with Vegan Gains? That's what's gonna happen. How unexpected. Oh well, let's watch.
Vegan to begin with, so who cares? Wanted
What?
to know your personal take on the United Healthcare CEO getting...
Personal take, as apart from the public take, right? Your personal take. Okay, I'm gonna stop pausing every 5 seconds, because I'm not even saying anything funny or meaningful. Let's just watch
Killed.
it now.
Probably not
Think he
a good
deserved it?
thing. No, I don't think so.
How come?
One, I'm not even sure if he was doing anything illegal. So it's kind of weird to be killing people for things that are allowed in terms of business operating under the law. And then two, I think it is misdirecting anger at healthcare issues in the United States, and it's trying to levy it upon a solo industry, which is health insurance, when there's like exorbitant costs across the entirety of the healthcare spectrum, from pharmaceuticals and providers to insurance to every other fucking bullshit. All of our
Yeah, but isn't this particular company pretty notorious? Even when compared to other companies, isn't this particular company's rejection rate super grossly larger than other companies of the same vein?
shit is really expensive.
Right. Okay, I'll push back on two things there.
Like, I'm not even sure if it's about stuff being expensive. It's about people being unreasonably rejected when it comes to care, no? Like, there was no reasonable justification for people being rejected, and then they were, and they died, a lot of them. That's so the whole argument that is being made here, as I understand it, and that it basically led to what happened, that people were fed up with it, and that this sort of negligence, I don't know how to call it, this sort of disregard for human life has caused a pushback, inevitable pushback, right? I'm not saying I condone it, but I can certainly understand it. I'm not even sure if in this case it's misdirected anger. It's directed at a pretty specific company that has done very specifically outrageous things. Even when compared to other healthcare companies, this one is apparently far worse. No, but I have to deal with dumb opinions of Americans and their impact on politics, so I guess. I mean, we all have to be honest. We all have to. At the end of the day, what happens in the US affects the entire world. Like it or not, that is the reality of our world that we live in?
One, I think it's perfectly sensible to use violence to stop somebody doing something immoral,
I
regardless.
mean, it's not even about it being sensible. It's understandable. That is the term that I would use. I would use the term it's understandable. Like at some point, certain actions will create a reaction. And in this case, it was the shooting, right? All actions garner a reaction, as they say. And again, this is, you can view it from a few angles. The angle of the healthcare industry as a whole, or just the section of healthcare insurance industry, or you can view it from the position of this particular company that is apparently much worse than the other healthcare insurance companies.
Of whether or not it's legal. Slavery, for instance, was illegal. There were, slaves and anti-slavery activists who would kill slave owners. Don't
Yeah,
think
sure,
most
but there's
people
probably
have an
going to be
issue with
like
that.
levels of removal from that, I would imagine, right? So, for instance,
Well,
like
yeah,
let's say we
I
buy
mean, not
products from
everything is
slaves.
as immoral as slavery.
Sure.
I'm just using that as I'm just saying I think that's a poor argument, in and of itself.
I don't like the way Vegan Gain speaks. But then again, it sort of annoys me, but at the same time, it also sort of amuses me. It is amusing. Is it okay now? I've lowered it. I've lowered it just for you, fake Alec Kyle Parker. I did it for you. How's it now? Look. Look at the video. It looks like me and Destiny were looking at one another. If I tilt my head like this, it totally looks like we're looking at each other. And even if I made myself smaller, hold on, which I'm gonna do right now. I'll make myself a bit smaller. Wow. Oh boy, now it totally looks like we were looking at each other, doesn't it? Right? You gotta admit. Look. Look at the video screen. Destiny's looking at me. I'm looking at Destiny. We're looking each other deep in the eye. I'm sure the guy that is debating Destiny doesn't know how private companies impact life of average American citizens every year. I mean, so far the vegan gains guy seems to be making the case that the people were in the right to push back against the company. I'm not someone to support vigilantism, but I get why someone would want to make a healthcare insurance CEO meet a short end. Basically, yeah. I'm not gonna cheer for and condone the killing, but like seeing as this company is apparently extremely bad, even compared to other companies, I can understand why this would create friction and something like that happening. I can understand it. And I'm not really gonna cry over the CEO. I'm sorry. That is unfortunate reality of the situation.
Well, yeah, it's not the only argument that I'm relying on, but I think that if something is literally a legal behavior, we're going to start to need more justifications for why, like, this is condemnable with vigilante like assassination. I think.
I mean, I still think this is a weak argument. The legality. I think this is weak. There's a dictatorship in which certain things are legal. This is weak. The legality is not be all and end all of things, I'm afraid. It is weak.
Like, I think if it was like
No,
immoral and clearly
like
illegal, I
look at
think that you
eating
have.
meat, for instance. Like, I think it's totally fine for
Wait,
somebody.
so if something is immoral and legal, then it needs extra justification to push back against it? Is that the argument? Really? Why? Why do we need extra justification if something is immoral but legal? Can somebody in the chat provide me with an answer? Because I don't have one. I don't have an answer to the question why you need an extra justification when something is immoral and legal as opposed to immoral and illegal. It's like that thing that happened in Ohio with train derailment disaster. Tons of vinyl chloride being spilled. It's a bit too... Most Americans just ignore that. Huh. So what do you think? I don't see the strength of that argument.
To use vigilante justice to stop people from killing and torturing animals. Now, I don't think that's a effective means of activism, but I don't know how you could justify, torturing and murdering billions of animals, even though it's perfectly legal and it's one of the most common, human behaviors.
But I think that's a lot more easy to link to like a directly immoral thing, right? Rather than
a huge company having a grossly larger rejection rate for people that need healthcare to live. That's harder to link to an immoral thing in your mind? Really? Really? I don't think it is. If you have a rejection rate that is by numbers of magnitude higher than different companies and it leads to many deaths that were preventable, then in my mind it's pretty easily linkable to an immoral act. Am I missing something? I know I'm not from the US. I'm not well versed on this, but this seems pretty clear cut to me. Is there some information that I'm missing here? Am I about to be schooled through this debate? Am I about to learn something new?
The CEO of a health insurance company that is making decisions about accepting or denying claims I think we're many levels removed at that point, I think.
Well, no, it's not. How is it many levels removed? If rejecting or accepting a claim can lead to someone either living or dying. There has to be something here that I don't get. There simply has to be something here that I don't get. Where's the levels of separation? Where are those levels? Maybe I'm just stupid. I have to be explained it like a child. Somebody please call in. Somebody call in and explain it to me. As if I was a small child. I need it, apparently. I desperately need it. Please. Please. Help me. Please help me. Because I'm lost. I'm like a child in the mist. Or I feel like a child in the mist right now.
I don't think so. Look, the guy's
It feels really strange that I'm siding with... that I feel like I'm siding more with vegan gains right now. Isn't it strange? Isn't it weird?
CEO of the company. Ultimately, really, the buck stops with him. He's the one who represents the company. I'm sure he had a huge part to play in why they end up denying so many claims, and apparently it has to do with this bullshit AI software.
Sure.
AI?
So
They're also a huge anomaly.
AI software? Really?
Claim by claim. So one, the AI software, that's an allegation right now in a civil suit. We don't even know how real or true that is, and that only
Real or true? What's the difference between real and true? That is a really weird sentence structure. We don't know how real or true this is. But I guess if it's an okay, I guess we don't have to discuss the AI thing. Wow. Okay, we'll see. We'll see what the whole proceeding will tell us about the AI.
concerns elderly patients on a Medicare, I think Plus or Medicare Advanced plan or something, and it only has to do with the fact that the denials had a high appeal rate, 90%. That's if, and that's just a claim made in a civil suit. We don't actually know. They don't provide any evidence in that suit. You can look up the lawsuit if you want. Then the second thing is, just because somebody
Hello, Greater Rain. I'm watching a video, Destiny debating vegan gains on the shooting of the CEO. And weirdly enough, I'm finding myself siding more with vegan gains, which is very strange. Whatever. It happens.
appeals, or I'm sorry, just because somebody denies a claim, is every single claim denial unethical, or?
I would say nearly.
I mean, if you have a high okay. From what I understand, again, of this case, of what happened here, this particular company has a much higher rejection rate than other companies of the same type, of other healthcare insurance companies, like by a lot more rejections. And if there's this company that rejects a lot more claims than other companies, and it leads to a whole lot more deaths, then yeah, you do have to sort of wonder if there is no, at least wonder if there's no immorality going on, if there's not something immoral going on at that point, because you might just be dealing with people being murdered through bureaucracy at that point. Yeah, you might be dealing with a company willingly sentencing people to death, even though they could not. They have in their power not to. That is how I see it. And at some point, this sort of thing will lead to a pushback. Well, I'm talking about more life threat, like life. I'm talking about rejections to lead to people dying. And apparently this company, through its rejections, has led to many people dying. So I don't know where the levels of separation are here.
How?
Wait.
Is
Okay,
insurance obligated to cover every single claim that you make then under insurance policy?
I would say in all likelihood, nearly every claim. So there are obviously, different insurance policies. So if something doesn't fit within your policy, that's one thing. So I know, they might not cover certain health conditions. I don't know, maybe dental isn't covered. So if you get your teeth knocked out or something, they won't cover that.
Which is weird, by the way. Dental should absolutely be covered. That is also something that baffles me. But, yeah, whatever.
Understand something like that, where somebody, I don't know, just files the wrong type of claim, but assuming it is covered by your policy, so for instance, maybe you have a heart problem, or maybe you're overweight, diabetic or something, and according to your policy, any kind of medication or treatment that would be covered under the policy to treat those conditions, if that's denied, then yeah, 99% of the time, or 99.9% of the time, it would be unethical to deny the claim.
Wait, why do you think a company would deny a claim if it was covered by your policy and if a doctor prescribed it to you and it was medically necessary?
they do that all the fucking time. They do it completely and utterly arbitrarily. So
Does Destiny think that this company has never rejected valid claims, life-threatening claims, as in people that whose life were threatened and it was covered by the policy? Does Destiny think that the company never rejected claims such as these?
Wait, why?
they just
Does
they
Destiny think that illegitimate rejections? I think I'm gonna return the question to Destiny. Actually, Z asked, "Are all rejections immoral?" I guess I'm just gonna ask Destiny this: Do uh, does it ever happen that an unjustified rejection happens? Are all rejections justified in Destiny's view, without exception?
to make money. They just want to take your money and not give any payouts. That
They-
happens all the fucking time.
But they
dude.
literally have to do that. You have to pay out 80% of what you receive in premiums as healthcare coverage. If you weren't paying it out and you were making too much administrative cost, you would have to literally reimburse your payers.
That is a bit naive. I'm gonna be honest. That is a bit naive. I didn't think Destiny was so naive on insurance companies, but you can do that. I mean, I'm sorry. It happens in all sorts of insurance that companies do all they can. They fight to the last to deny you your thing. That happens in all fields, whether or not it's an accident, whether it's your house getting burned, the company will always fight tooth and nail not to pay you what you're owed. Of course. Not just in healthcare. I'm going to be honest. It's a bit of a naive take to say, oh, yeah, but companies can't do that. They're obliged to do it. They have to do it. Like, come on. Come on. Of course, they're going to look into for a way to not do it. Is Vegan Games going to play the devil's advocate here? Yeah, he is. Apparently so. Yeah, it looks like it. What an interesting debate this is turning out to be, huh? What an interesting debate we're dealing with here.
What do you mean?
As part of the ACA, there's an 80-20 rule in the United States that a health insurance company can at the most have 20% of the money that they make be part of their administrative cost. 80% has to be paid out in premiums. Or not in premiums, in healthcare coverage costs.
Okay, I don't know how that contradicts what I said.
Well, let's say that you receive $1 million
chances are-
in premiums and you decide to just cancel everybody's coverage because you're being a dick. Well, if you have all this money sitting around in premiums and you haven't paid out any in healthcare, well, now you just have to give the money back to your customers. You can't keep that.
Yeah, that still doesn't contradict what I said. I'm not claiming they try to deny every single claim possibly. What I'm saying is, whenever they get an opportunity,
But you can keep the percentage of denials on such a level that you'll be able to get away with it, no? Like this company, from what I understand, has an extremely high denial rate.
they'll try to not, pay out some of these claims, especially when they think they have some sort of leeway.
Well, what is the
So-
percentage of claims that you think are just bullshit? They're just fuck this.
Well,
Well, okay, that's not even a correct question to ask right now. We should start from what is the percentage of all denials, and within that percentage of denials, what percentage is BS in Vegan Games' opinion. We should first establish how many denials there are in that company. Then we can start talking about how many of those denials are legitimate and how many of those denials are illegitimate. Because it makes no sense to me to start from asking how many denials are legitimate if we don't even know how many there are and how many denials are considered normal within the industry and in comparison to that norm, quote unquote, in the industry, what is this company's rejection rate? Because again, from what I've heard, it's high even compared to the standard of the industry. Does that make sense? Or no? You think I'm making sense? I think I'm making perfect sense, but
Have any hard numbers, but when we're talking about United Healthcare, they're a huge anomaly. Over 30% of their claims get denied, where I think the
right, see? I heard about this as well. This is one thing that I've heard about this company, that this company has a much bigger rejection rate than others.
industry average is somewhere between 10 and 15%. So they have
Which
somewhere
is
between
still high, by the way. 10 to 15% of rejected. 1 out of every 10 people gets rejected. Or more, 15%. That's already high, but 30%?
between 2 to 3 times more claim denials than any other healthcare company.
Sure, but then why?
So at least there, I think it's like relatively
here, wait. So the
safe
first
to
question is:
assume.
so are the other people that have? Let's assume the industry standard is 15%. Are all of those claim denials also like arbitrary bullshit?
Well, I
I
can't
mean, I
give
would assume that vegan gains will say yes here, but like this is something that I said to Wick, right? If we assume that in general the industry has a reasonable amount of rejections, which I don't think that's the case, but let's assume that all the other companies reject cases for perfectly legitimate reasons and that the industry standard is 10 to 15%. So why is this company's rejection rate 30%? Does that mean that does that mean that the other companies are accepting cases that should be rejected? Does that mean that this company is extra good about rejecting things legitimately and other companies just let things pass through even though they should be rejected? Is that the argument being made here? That actually the other companies are lowering the standard and they should be rejecting more? Or what? Are there so special circumstances for this particular company that make the rejections more legitimate? That make it more legitimate for this particular company to reject more? Like, I don't get it. It's either this company rejects too much or all the other companies reject too little. From what I stand. Maybe I'm just making a stupid argument here. But I don't know.
give you any kind of hard numbers, but yeah, if the industry average is about 15% and United Healthcare has over 30% denial, that's a pretty odd, like weird anomaly.
Sure, but why would
So I
we
don't think it's a
assume? Wait,
stretch
wait.
to say,
No, 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 wait.
you know,
This is
somewhere
wait,
around
wait,
10 or
wait. Why would we
15% of their
assume?
fucking
Wait.
claim
One point
rejections
at a
are
time. One point at a time.
bullshit.
One point at a time. Why
Okay. Why would we assume what?
would we assume that if their rates were higher, it's because of arbitrary or capricious bullshit? That there's no reason. Could there not? Could we not think of possibly other explanations?
Like, what are the other explanations? Is it that this one particular company does its scrutiny and all the other companies are slacking and should be rejecting more? Are the cases in this particular company special compared to the other companies? What are these other explanations? I'd like to hear them. I'd like to hear them right now. Tell them. Tell me the other explanations, Stephen. Maybe I should be debating this.
Well,
I'm feeling like hearing those debates. I'm feeling more and more confident that maybe I should debate this topic because it feels silly. Silly, silly, silly. Silly Billy.
it's possible, but I mean, when the industry average is around 15% and they have over twice the claim denial, that's very suspicious.
Sure, but then the
I
next
don't
step
know
would be to
why I would
ask a question.
logically assume.
Yeah, I'm not telling you to assume anything. You're logically assuming that it's evil. I'm saying, why not think of maybe why that might be? Why not like do like the first start of investigation on it and figure out like, well, why is that?
Well,
Who's gonna conduct the investigation? Is the company gonna investigate itself? It's legal. You just said it yourself before. If it's legal, then who's gonna launch an investigation? You? Scotland Yard from Britain's gonna come over to the US and start the Who's gonna do the investigation? It's just a conversation killer. Well, we should start an investigate. Who's gonna investigate it? Who? No one. Come on. We should start an investigation. That's a non-starter. If I ever heard.
sure. I mean, I don't.
Someone should ask who would do it. What investigation? By what body exactly? You should wait for the investigation to finish.
Don't know exactly how I would go about finding research on this. I might be able to find something, but what I'm saying is that is highly suspicious.
Yes, but
Also,
suspicious
by the
is
way-
not suspicious is your starting point. That's not your
Okay,
conclusion.
well, listen, by the way, I am friends with doctors who work in the United States, and they tell me these bullshit claim
Wait, is Vegan Gains not from the US?
denials happen all the fucking time. And
Who is a doctor
sometimes-
representing?
Sorry?
Who is a doctor representing?
Well, the patient, really.
No, the doctor's representing themselves. Doctors should have an antagonistic relationship against insurance companies. They're trying to get money out of them, of course. So why would I take a
Okay.
doctor's opinion? That'd be like asking a health insurance company, do you think that doctors file too many bullshit claims? Of course they're going to say yes, right?
Do health insurance managers have more medical expertise than medical doctors?
It depends on what the question is about specifically.
What?
Okay, so if
Like a
the
healthcare
question
manager
is-
that's man-
God, this is why healthcare should not be in the purview of finance. It should not be about making a profit. Because then the company will be in an antagonistic relationship with the doctor, which should absolutely not be the case. This is ridiculous. I guess this becomes a case of health versus profit. Which one will win out in the end? The doctor that is, I guess, trying to help the patient, or the company that feels like the doctor is trying to squeeze what?
managing like
whether
a
or not
broad
patient
policy about like
should
whether
be
wait,
on a
wait,
certain.
if a health,
You're interrupting me.
well, hold on, let me do one point at a time. If a healthcare manager, if you have a question about like which drug has
U.S. healthcare system is so weird.
a better outcome for like patients or whatever, I might expect a person that manages a policy to have more firsthand information about that than a doctor. Because one, it might be outside of their area of specialties, and two, the doctor probably sees way fewer patients than like an insurance company would see patients coming through. I would imagine they're going to know the numbers on that a lot more. Now, for a specific
How would
patient,
an insurance
yeah.
company have more knowledge on what medications to take than a doctor or a pharmacist?
Because it's the insurance company's job, and they literally get paid based on their information and ability to know this.
Well, no. Because no, that's stupid. It's not their job. They cannot know. It's on individual basis. Each patient is an individual case. It's not a statistic. You cannot statistically just. Illnesses differ. Our bodies differ. The way our illnesses will be treated also differ. That's nonsense. That an insurance company based on stats and numbers can deduct what medicine a person will need. Maybe I'm just misunderstanding the argument. Maybe I'm just being Maybe I'm just being silly.
Like that's where they make their money,
So
is knowing what's
do they
appropriate
go
to.
through medical school or become a pharmacist? Like, is that actually what they do? Like, do they hire actual medical doctors and pharmacists
You wouldn't hire a
to
medical
work
doctor.
as?
Somebody that works in the clinical side of things isn't going to be valuable there. It's going to be a researcher that would be valuable. Doctors wouldn't be expected to know all the research like a researcher would who's working for a health insurance company.
What do
right?
you mean by a researcher? Is it researcher in what exactly? Like, you just threw the word researcher out there, but researcher of what? True. Oh, come on, Lucy. Yes, they're a healthcare company, and yes, they're operating in the area of legal boundaries. But if you consider that United Healthcare is a private company, smile face. I, come on. How ridiculous is that? No, they're not gonna hire doctors. They're gonna hire researchers. Researchers of what? Private researcher in a private. Like, what? What does that even mean? Can we get some specifics? I usually get specifics from Destiny, but now I get this weird, vague nothing of an argumentation in this debate. Researchers.
Yeah. Like if you were to go to a doctor and start quizzing him on like all the latest like drug study, the doctor probably wouldn't know. It's not in his job. He doesn't have to know. He shouldn't know. That's not.
But that makes no sense. And how is a researcher gonna parse out individual claims if that what?
That's not what his goal is.
So why in the fuck do doctors have the right?
Like, what is the role of this researcher when it comes to parsing out individual claims? And what does the newest research, actually doctors usually do have to be, when it comes to their field of medicine, doctors actually do have to be updated with the newest research, by the way. That's actually a thing, but that's neither here nor there. But even putting that aside, how would this researcher who deals with broader trends and broader research about types of medicine be able to parse out if an individual patient needs that or not, needs that treatment or not? If each patient's case is unique based on their diagnosis, based on the tests that they went through, based on their medical history, you cannot just take these individual patients and throw them into a broader trend or broader research results and be like, oh yeah, they definitely don't need that and that's super legitimate. Why even have doctors at that point? Why not just replace them with researchers? Hello, Def Philippe August. This just feels so nonsensical to me so far. Maybe I'm just too ill right now to maybe I have a brain fog. I have a mind fog because of my cold. This is my sniffies and because of my sore throat. I'm just too slow right now to comprehend the in-depth, intricate argumentation that is being made during this debate.
To prescribe medication, but these fucking insurance company providers don't.
Because the doctor can look at an individual patient, assess the totality of their conditions, and for one person prescribe
So
what
do
they
you think
feel.
we should change the healthcare system and have insurers actually prescribe medication since they'd know better?
No, I don't think an insurer would know better for an individual patient. Because
Well, then, what are we talking about? Insurance claims are about individual patients. What do you think denials are about? What are insurance denials done in bulk? Are you saying that individual cases are not being reviewed by those insurance companies? That would be horrible. Are are the rejections done in bulk? If a doctor is good at assessing an individual patient's case, then rejection or acceptance of the insurance should be done on this individual case. No? In which case, the doctor should be the biggest expert in the room, not the researcher. What's happening? I'm lost. I'm lost in this argumentation. I'm completely lost in the sauce. Is there genuinely something that I'm misunderstanding here? Is there some deeper argument that I'm just missing? It's just flying over my head. I feel so stupid right now. Maybe my illness has affected my IQ in a negative way.
Because an insurer is going to look at me and
Okay,
say,
well,
well,
there you
72%.
go. Then why are they fucking denying claims when you're admitting the fucking doctor would know better?
I don't know.
What's happening? Oh, God. Oh, gosh.
Oh, neither of us know that answer because you haven't even looked into it. You're just assuming they denied to be evil.
But have you looked into it? You're both debating it and none of you have looked into it? Come on. I love it. I love this. I love what's happening here. I love what just happened. Well, you haven't looked into it. Well, I mean, if I were in the debate, I guess I would have asked, well, I mean, have you? Have you looked into it? And I'm going to be honest. If Destiny responded with, I haven't either, if I asked him, have you looked into it? And he said no, then all that would be left for me to say is, well, then why are we even debating it? Why are we debating this? We both haven't looked into it. Why are we debating this topic that none of us actually in reality know anything about? None of us know anything about this. And yet, we all debate this topic so strongly. Why? Is this Cyberpunk 2077 or something? Why all of a sudden private company became more important than patients? Because profit, of course. What do you mean? What do you mean why? It's because it's profit time. I'm lost. I'm lost in this debate. Two people that have not looked into it debate the thing, and actually there are researchers in the insurance companies that look at the broader trends and the broader research. But actually the doctor would be better at assessing the individual cases. But then I would assume that the individual cases matter in rejections or approvals of cases, of claims. But I guess no. I guess the researchers matter more and the rejections or approvals are done in bulk. That is a very interesting conversation. It's like the blind leading the blind. And a third blind person is reacting to it. I'm the most blind person because I'm a foreigner who's very unacquainted with the American healthcare system. So I'm like a blind person trying to observe, doing my best to observe a blind person leading a blind person, or if you will, two blind people arguing about what they see. Wow. I think United Healthcare's customers should update their status to a platinum. Oh la la. Ooh la la.
Oh no, we know the answer. They try to they try to deny claims so that they don't lose money.
But that doesn't make any sense because if they deny, like on the UHC people, I think that 18% of their
Oh my
costs.
god.
What
Bro.
they can't keep all the money. They would have to pay it back. They'd have to give it back to their customers.
Yeah, they don't keep all the money. They only keep the money from the 30% of the rejected claims. It's not 70% gets accepted. That's the majority still. So they don't keep all the money.
That okay, dude, this isn't like you're using the absolute most ridiculous extreme. I'm not saying they deny absolutely every single
To be
claim.
clear, you're the one saying that.
No, only 30%. There's only 30%. It's fine. I mean, they do. They clearly do, Richard. Like, come on. They clearly can because they do. They clearly can get away with 30%. I guess that's the easiest response to that. Why would you entertain this? Like, yeah, they can't do this. They have to give back the money. Well, clearly they can because their rejection rate is 30%. So clearly they can. Up to 30%. That's the limit, I guess. As far as we know. So yes, clearly they can. And they don't have to give back the money to the customers. Up to 30% of rejected claims. That would be my brilliant response to this claim that they cannot do this. They cannot just keep all the money.
Arbitrarily deny some claims just to make money. That's an extreme statement. You're saying that they just deny some things to make some money.
No, it's not. And they
I mean, why do they have a rejection rate of 30%? We still we're just
obviously
whatever.
fucking do that. That is
and they're just gonna circle around the same arguments over and over and over and over and over again. It's just gonna be like a circle of life kind of thing. Well, they reject without a reason. No, they don't. They'd have to return all the money. They cannot keep all the money. Well, they can. Can they? Yeah, because they do it. How do I even engage with this?
Fucking secret.
It's no secret because everybody on Reddit says it. Well, I mean, like,
not just on Reddit, on Twitter as well.
Wait, why you literally admitted a doctor would know better when it comes to prescribing medication, and you just admitted that insurance company providers deny some of these medical claims when it comes to like medications.
I don't know why they deny the claim. I don't wait. Why do you think they deny the claim? Do you think they deny it because they're saying they know better than the doctor, or are they denying because of other reasons, like pre-authorization reasons?
Well, here's an example.
What do you think they deny it?
Okay, so here's an example. Ozempic, right? Or Wegovy. Ozempic is technically the drug they prescribe for diabetes. Wegovy is the one that they prescribe for obesity.
Huh.
So they will deny covering medication costs for Ozempic or Wegovy on the basis of this drug isn't FDA approved for treating obesity, therefore we're going to deny coverage. Why the fuck do you think they would do that when there is just an innumerable amount of randomized trial proving these are the most effective drugs for fucking obesity? Why would they deny the coverage when all of these fucking doctors want to prescribe this to their patients so that they can, reduce the risk of heart disease?
I'm sorry, hold on. So your claim is that you think that insurance
these drugs
companies
reduce the risk of fucking dying.
I mean, I would actually, and I guess I would just, for the sake of argument, I would turn around the argument on Destiny. What? Are all the doctors just trying to scam the poor companies? Are the doctors trying to scam all the poor insurance companies? Are they just prescribing en masse unnecessary medication and treatment to patients? trying to scam the poor company, and the company is just forced to reject to defend itself from the unjust terror of the evil doctors that are trying to destroy them. What's the claim? I'm trying to discover the United States healthcare system right now through this debate. I'm trying to parse it out. I'm trying to piece the puzzles. I'm trying to finish the jigsaw.
You think that
this is proven?
it's not.
So
If it
why
was
are they
proven, then why
denying
isn't
the
it?
claim?
Then your issue is with the FDA. You think that
No,
insurance
it's not.
companies should?
No, it's not.
Hold on, let me just.
My
You think that
issue is
insurance?
with
You
the
think that insurance
healthcare
companies?
provider.
You think that not the
they're doing
provider
that
with the insurance
totally
company.
arbitrarily, so they don't have to.
Okay.
cover
It's
the
not
cost of
arbitrary.
these
You
very
just said it's
expensive
off-label.
medications.
That's not arbitrary. You think insurance companies should be mandated?
It's not off.
You think that insurance companies
What
should
do you
be
mean
mandated?
off-label? What the do you mean off-label?
Wait, why was the term off-label introduced right now? How did we go to off-label? I get it. I'm lost as always in this debate by whatever. This debate is just oof. Oof. I don't even know anymore what's happening. I'm lost. I'm like a little puppy. Lost completely.
As in, if it's not FDA approved to treat a thing, that's an off-label prescription.
Okay, so are you against?
Are doctors en masse prescribing off-label medication knowing that it'll be rejected? Is that the new claim? Doctors are idiots and they just en masse prescribe things that are gonna be rejected, knowing that? Are the doctors the bad guys now? Because they prescribe things knowingly with perfect awareness of the fact that everything that they prescribe will be rejected by the company. Like I gotta admit, in this scenario, the doctors sound like evil cunts. Yeah, we're all just gonna prescribe this off-label thing, this off-label treatment, this off-label medication. Who cares if it gets rejected? No skin off my back. Is that what's happening? Really? That's weird. I mean, I would think that a doctor prescribing either medication or treatment would have the good sense to be like, hold on, this thing is off-label. It'll be rejected. So I guess I have to prescribe an equivalent that is not off-label. But it seems like doctors are just all incompetent buffoons in this scenario, I guess. Like, right? Is that the conclusion that I'm being gently I don't know, led to by Destiny's gentle manly hand?
Against the vaccine rollout for COVID?
No.
Okay, well that wasn't FDA approved.
It literally
Only the
was. It was an
one-
emergency
only-
use
only the
authorization. It was
Pfizer.
EUA. Also, that has nothing to do with off-label.
Okay. Double standard then.
Wait, hold on. What is the argument being made? And ironically, what is the argument being made? That doctors keep prescribing off-label medication? Oh my god. Oh my god. What is the... Like, come on. This has to... Is this the argument? The chat is being so quiet. The chat does not have my back in this weird, confusing debate. I guess I'm gonna title the segment "Lucy is confused by the state of U.S. healthcare" because I just don't get any of it. Just I'm like a little child lost in the supermarket, trying to find my mom or dad or relative. I, oh,
If it's an emergency.
That's not off-label.
What do you mean by off-label?
If you have a medication,
Just because something isn't FDA approved, that doesn't mean it's off-label.
that's literally what off-label means. When you prescribe a medication to treat something, that's not what the medication is approved for. That's an off-label prescription.
Okay, Destiny, the fucking reality is, Ozempic or Wegovy.
so what? Either all doctors are incredibly incompetent and knowingly prescribe medication that are off-label, right? Or maybe the rules around the whole off-label should be changed. If the only thing that can help a patient with their thing is a thing that is off-label, because the doctor literally cannot prescribe anything else. Like, something's wrong either way. No? Is that not the case? Am I crazy? Like, if the doctors en masse prescribe all those off-label medications, then it seems like it's the only thing that they can prescribe. In which case, why are they off-label? But if there is an alternative that is not off-label that the doctors could be prescribing, then why aren't they? Why are they not? Is it because the medication is so expensive? But then wouldn't it be covered by the insurance? Please, somebody, explain this riddle to me. Because it just baffles my mind, my small brain is squeezed by this conundrum. I should call into Destiny and ask him all these questions, because I'm just baffled. I just have no clue how this system works. It's so strange. It is full of pitfalls and mysteries and things. It's weird.
Wegovy, whatever you want to fucking call it. You understand what kind of medication.
Why isn't this guy making these arguments that I'm making right now? Why isn't he asking these questions? Why isn't he pointing these very obvious things out? Why? Why? Why isn't he saying anything? It should be so obvious. But it's not? What? Why? Why? Come on. Work with me. Help me. Help me, Vegan Gains. Ask him. Ask him my questions. Oh my god. These are the most basic questions that you can ask to sort of get to the bottom of how this thing even works. I'm gonna repeat it. If all those things are off-label and they are rejected on the basis of being off-label, then does that mean that all the doctors are just incompetent? And instead of prescribing on-label medication, they prescribe off-label en masse? Or, alternatively, is the only way to deal with certain affliction to prescribe off-label medicine? And if it's the only way to rescue a patient is to prescribe them off-label medication, then shouldn't we look into changing rules about off-label medication if it's the only type of medication some people will need for their I don't. You understand what I'm saying, right? You understand me, right? Philip Auguste, you're an American. You want to call in and fill me in? Would you like to fill me in? Would you like to explain to me what's happening? Can I have an explanation from some American? Can I get an American on the phone? Please? No? No Americans willing to talk to me? No experts? Okay. I see. I feel betrayed. I feel betrayed by my American audience, to be quite honest with you.
I'm talking about. There are meta-analyses of randomized trials proving when these drugs are used to treat obesity, patients have a lower risk of fucking dying.
Sure. Then you get
So
the FDA
even though
approval
they're
on
only
it. Then you get FDA approval on it.
Even though,
Then you get FDA approval on it.
Wait, please don't interrupt me. It is.
So I guess Destiny is going with my second thing, with my second, that they should get approval then. But what? I'll just are doctors who cooperate with this particular company prescribing more off-label medication than than for other companies? Jack, don't do it. Keep government out of healthcare and create pharmaceutical manufacturing here. Competition makes the price go down while stimulating the economy. Keep government out of healthcare. Is that sarcasm? Are you being sarcastic, Jack? Don't do it? Is this some weird sarcastic... You're not being serious, are you? Competition make price go down? How about one pharmaceutical company comes on top, creates a monopoly, and dictates high prices? How's that for competition makes the price go down? Have you not seen the state of the internet in the US? Where in every state basically you have a monopoly company which dictates everything, and that's why, no offense, the internet in the USA is shit? Because of that? Because competition makes the price go down while stimulating the economy, while in reality you have monopolies that just dictate the price and gives crappy service because they can get away with it because all the competitions has been snuffed out? Have you considered this scenario happening? And it happens a lot. I just gave you the example of internet. There you go. I think I've won this debate. I think I've won this debate against the chatter. Big government is corrupt. Anything the government gets in is corrupt. Well then, how is the mostly privatized healthcare in the US the most dysfunctional in the world? And all the other companies that have some sort of government-run healthcare are doing so much better. Can you explain that to me? If the government is corrupt and anything that the government does is bad. How is the US healthcare system the most dysfunctional one, even if it's by far the most privatized? Can I have an explanation, please? Oh, I understand what you're saying. I'm just bringing in the American perspective. It feels just so bizarre, you know? It just feels weird. Also, welcome to the stream. Also, how have you found this stream? How have you found yourself watching this stream? And are you enjoying yourself? How have you found me? I'm asking you. Why didn't you join the page and consider funding my Ukraine endeavors? But yeah, first things first, how did you find me? It's not completely. I didn't say completely. I said by far the most. You should you should listen to your favorite streamer because I assume I am now your favorite streamer. I said by far the most privatized. I didn't say completely privatized. Okay? Wow, wow, wow. Are we advocating for changing status quo in the country in which any changes that are off the table right now? Yes. Zocialix. Oh, Zocialix has joined the stream. I need your help, Zocialix. Unironically. Maybe you can DM me later. You're good with emulators, right? Maybe you can have a call later. I need your help, actually. Maybe off stream. I need your help. I'm gonna call you. I'm gonna share my screen, and you're gonna help me because I need help. I need big help in very important things. Okay, I have very important things in which I need very big help. Supermarkets in the UK barely employ people and they're always understaffed. How would you think private healthcare function differently? Those at the top want to cut payment of workers. Capitalists aren't interested in providing a quality service over True. Can do that, Lucy. It's late. Sorry, but just detail the problem in DMs and I'll get back to you. I can tell it to you now. I wanna run some games in my retro arc, but I can't for some reason. I'm scanning the file, I'm scanning the directory, and it just says failed to load content. I'm trying to run because I want to stream Resident Evil Code Veronica, and it just keeps saying failed to load content. I tried the Dreamcast version, I tried the GameCube version. In both cases, it just fails to load. And I don't know what I'm doing wrong. So maybe you'll help me. You know? All right. I've told you what my problems are. And now we go back to reacting to the debate. Also, Jack Don't Do It has not told. Oh yeah, you found me on For You page. Wow, the algorithm is giving me some love. What do you think about the stream? What do you think of the stream so far? Okay, let's go. Let's continue. Also, I'm Polish. I'm the biggest Polish trans streamer. I'm not sure if you're right wing or left wing, but just a heads up, you're watching a transgender creator. I don't know if it offends your sensibility, so I'm giving you a trigger warning in advance. I'm giving you a big trigger warning. This is a transgender led show. And you send the government funding to privatize healthcare. Why wouldn't they deny claims? They can literally just pocket the money. Well, it's not about sending government funding to privatize healthcare. What I'm more interested in is regulation, to be quite honest, than sending government funding to privatize healthcare. Regulation is the name of the game. That's where the government is a lot more. Also, keep in mind, there are certain things that the government can do that a private company just cannot and will never. I'm MAGA all the way. Oh, so does that mean that you hate me? Do you hate me? Jack, don't do it. I don't care. It's your life, man. Fair enough. Does that mean that I'm your favorite streamer now? Have I earned a MAGA viewer? Have I managed it? Have I bridged the left and right divide? Am I the streamer to do it? What is your opinion on Trump's promises on Ukraine? What is your, as a MAGA person, what is your opinion on Ukraine? The war in Ukraine is a pretty close topic to my heart. So, what is your opinion on these topics? Ukraine and Trump's promises of ending the war in 24 hours. Do you think the US should support Ukraine? I'm getting the MAGA perspective. I need the MAGA perspective. I'm uncomfortable with a lot of our foreign policy. Are you uncomfortable with US providing aid to Ukraine? And if so, then why? I'm interested. As the Polish streamer, I'm pretty affected by what's going on in the region. You can probably guess. I guess I should just continue watching and you'll answer the question in the meantime in the chat. Very interesting. We send so much. How? What do you mean by so much? You don't. The US does not send all that much at all. The US sent a fraction of what it spent on past conflicts. Did you know that? The US has actually spent only a fraction of the amount of what it spent in past conflicts. If the US spent even half of what it spent on past conflicts, Ukraine would be in a completely different place right now in the war. You do know that, right? Are you aware? Are you aware of that? Just look. Just look and compare. Look at the statistics. Look at the raw data. Look at all the past conflicts that the US has been engaged in. Look at how much it spent. Now look at Ukraine and realize that it's a fraction. Well, you clearly do care because you just said we send so much, which is an indication of care. Why should we police the world? It's not about policing the world. It's about keeping to your obligations. Are you asking why the US should keep to its obligations? Are you saying the US should have treaties, should have agreements, international treaties, and the US should just spit on them? Is that what you're saying? Are you aware we do not fund wars to win them? Well, the US should definitely fund this war to win it. Because that's that's the obligation that the US made. Did you know that the US has made an obligation to preserve Ukraine's border integrity? The Budapest Memorandum? Is that a thing that you're familiar with? Or do you think that the US should just ignore any of its treaties, any of its obligations, at which case, why would anyone work with the US? Why would anyone trust the US on anything? What's the point? Are you saying that? It's not about policing the world. It's about keeping to your agreements, keeping to your obligations. Do you think the US has no obligations even if it makes them? I guess you won't answer that. Should the US keep to its obligations? So you think the US should just flush its reputation down the toilet as an international entity? Ukraine is not a forever war. What do you mean? You really are a MAGA person, aren't you? Forever wars. Was the Second World War a forever war? Was Land Lease to the USSR a mistake? Was that a forever war? What depends? I'm talking to the YouTube chatter. A MAGA viewer. Hello, Greater Rain. We've all missed you. I've been reacting to Destiny, and in the meantime, I've gained a MAGA viewer. I've become a favorite streamer of a MAGA viewer. It just means I attract viewers from all the political spectrum. You just said we have not funded them, right? Yeah. The US has not funded Ukraine, right? Yeah. The US has mishandled aid to Ukraine. I will say it, yeah. Grossly. Yeah. You're right. The US has mishandled aid, yeah. It should have done much better when it comes to aid to Ukraine. Isn't it embarrassing? You said we have given so much. Isn't it embarrassing that Poland has given Ukraine more tanks than the US? That is stupid. It's on purpose. Well, then the purpose is stupid, isn't it? Are you saying that the US is purposely flushing its reputation down the toilet and screwing over its biggest trading partner, which is Europe? Is it in the US interest to screw over its biggest trading partner, the European Union? Is that what you're saying? I don't. We've been discussing this for a while, Vladimir. It's because Jack Don't Do It seems to think that the US has given so much, which is a laughable statement if I've ever heard any, and that Ukraine is a forever war, which is another laughable statement if I've ever heard any, and that it's just, yeah, I guess. Oh yeah, and that the US should basically ignore all its treaties and obligations because who cares about international standing? Who gives a crap? Am I right? I guess all the countries should just get nukes. That makes no sense. That makes no... It's for corrupt warhogs that have international construction companies and arms dealers. That makes no sense. Because if the US would give weapons that would win against Russia, okay, I hate to be the person to say this to you, but beating Russia in a conventional war via aid would be better for the warhawk companies than not. Because then they would be able to turn to other countries and say, hey, look what our weapons did to Russia, the supposedly one of the strongest armies in the world. Are you ready to sign contracts to have the same weapons and be safe and secure? What you're saying makes no sense from that perspective. Oh, my mindset is wrong. Okay. Yes, there would. Are you... What kind of world are you living in? There's war everywhere around us. What do you mean there wouldn't be as much war? Yes, there would. Do you know how many conflicts are happening? Oh,
Увага! Повітряна тривога.
I
Пройдіть
keep
найближче укриття.
I keep tabs on air sirens, even if I'm not there currently.
Увага! Повітряна тривога. Пройдіть найближче укриття.
Seems like there's another strike on Kiev. No, you don't. You don't have your hands in every single conflict. Now that's mindset is just deluded. If you think you have your hands in every single conflict. I don't care if Biden cares about human life. I care about the US keeping to its obligations. That's all I care about. I don't care if Biden cares about human. I don't care about American politicians caring about human life. I care about the US keeping its end of the bargain. That's all. It doesn't need to care as long as it does it. That's it. If you make a deal, well, clearly you are. You made the obligation. If you make an obligation, there you are obligated. That's how that works. That's how obligations work. The Budapest Memorandum. Google it. Google the Budapest Memorandum. What did we get from you all? Well, you got Ukraine to give up its nuclear arsenal. That is what you got from y'all. That is what you got. In exchange for Ukraine giving up its nuclear arsenal, what you all got was the obligation from the US that it would preserve Ukraine's border integrity. Also from the European Union, you get trade. You really are a MAGA person, aren't you? I had my doubts, but now I'm convinced. I know. Now I know. You really did vote for Trump, didn't you?
proven that Ozempic reduces a patient's risk of fucking dying if they're using these medications to treat obesity. You're telling me an insurance company should be able to deny that kind of use that is permitted and recommended by a doctor simply because it isn't FDA approved? So you're telling me they should have a right to deny covering a patient's medication that would save their life simply because of the arbitrary decision not to approve coverage of medications that don't have FDA approval.
That's not arbitrary. I don't know if
Okay.
insurance companies should be.
So who is at fault here? The doctors, the FDA?
forced to approve off-label prescriptions.
Also, yes, Russia is an expansive territorial regime, yes. Yes, Russia wants to expand. I'm not sure if you've been following the war, but yes, Russia does seek expansion, indeed. Are you saying that Ukraine has no will to fight for itself? What are we talking about? Maybe I should not have started this topic. You have no clue. You just have no clue. I feel like insurance has absolutely no place to judge the necessity of a treatment over the word of a doctor. I mean, Destiny seems to disagree, so you should debate him. You should debate Destiny, Greater Reign. Ukraine has paid you, actually. Ukraine has already paid you for protection. With its nuclear arsenal. It had a pretty big nuclear arsenal. And Ukraine has paid with it for your protection. So there you go. It has paid its dues. Now it's time for you to keep your end of the bargain. I'm not even sure you're aware of the bargain to begin with.
They might sometimes. I don't know if they do or they don't, but I don't think that it's a good argument to say they should be forced.
Well, guess what? This is why the fucking United Healthcare CEO got shot.
I'm just stupid American, huh? I mean, no. You're just a MAGA Republican. There are many smart Americans. There's intelligent Americans in my chat. There are people that are from the US that are very intelligent. There are American streamers that are very smart. Wait, you're not? Or what are you? You just said you're a MAGA all the way. So no, you're not just a stupid American. Because there are many Americans that are plenty smart. Don't drag reputable, intelligent, great citizens of the great United States of America, okay? Don't drag respectable Americans into your thing, whatever project you're spreading. Some of the smartest people I know are American. Okay? You're not American first. Actually, if you're a MAGA person, you're not you're America last. You voted for a president that gave away respirators to Vladimir Putin when America needed it the most. You voted for a president that puts Vladimir Putin above America. So how can you say that you're American first? You're basically Russian first. at this point. If you voted for Trump. I don't know if you actually voted. I mean, if you're MAGA, then I assume you voted for Trump. So you might as well call yourself Russia first. You're a honorable Russian citizen. Which is sad. I feel for you.
Nobody fucking cares about the stupid bullshit. Everybody can see fucking through it.
Hold on. In
The only
Canada,
reason they're denying-
do
the
they
only
let you
reason
have
they're denying
Ozempic?
these
Hold on. In
claims
Canada,
is
do
because
they
it
do they
gives them an
prescribe
excuse
Ozempic
Now they're just screaming at each other.
not
for
to
weight
cover
loss in
these
Canada? Is that a thing
medications.
they do?
Sorry?
In Canada, do they prescribe Ozempic for weight loss?
Yeah, they do.
What is your process in Canada for approving drugs? Do you have your own like FDA or something?
No. I think we follow. I don't know if Canada has their own version of the FDA or if we. I don't know exactly how that works. But
Google.
Ozempic is approved for, or sorry, I should say, there are prescriptions given for Ozempic for weight loss. It's just that we don't use private healthcare insurance. It's covered by the province. Each province has their own universal healthcare, and doctors do prescribe it for weight loss. Usually people pay out of pocket, though, because it's actually much cheaper here. So in the United States, it's roughly $1,000 to $1,200 per month to take Ozempic. In Canada,
I mean, I feel like Destiny has walked into something he's not very... The globalist Marxist agenda. Well, I mean, we're always scared about things we don't understand. Jack, don't do it. That is normal. Once you understand it, you won't be as scared anymore.
it's only about $150 to about $225. So usually people can just afford it out of pocket. And again, it's also much easier if you have private insurance that covers medication costs.
Then,
where
wait,
they'll
if you,
just cover
everything
it
that you're
because it's
saying,
not
all of that is making it
expensive to
sound
begin
like then
with.
it's not approved for weight loss.
What do you,
If you have
sorry?
to pay extra to get it, then it sounds like it's not.
Well, what are you? Medications aren't typically covered by the universal healthcare here. It's just it's just like seeing the actual.
I mean, it can depend, right? When you have universal healthcare, it can cover part of the cost. It can cover all of the cost.
Увага! Відбій повітряної тривоги. Увага! Відбій повітряної тривоги.
Oh my god. It depends on the medication. It depends. But it doesn't mean that it's not covered. It can be covered, but not fully. The cost. Okay. Dangerous past. Right? Keep going, dude. Also, you should consider moving to live in Russia. I've heard that the process of getting Russian citizenship is much easier. It is, actually. They're looking for workers. They have a deficit. There's a problem. Thank you. It's ridiculous. I'm sorry. All the arguments about Ukraine that you've said are so ridiculous. It's actually infuriating, but...
doctor, getting the prescription, getting different treatments. So like X-rays.
Well, if your
break
drugs aren't even
leg,
covered, then then it doesn't matter. It sounds like your doctor could prescribe basically anything. You just go to the pharmacy and buy it. No.
Yeah.
I'm saying most medications aren't. Very expensive medications for like cancer that might cost like $1,000 a pill. That's covered. Most medications.
Yeah, it
aren't
doesn't
covered.
need to be covered if it's super cheap. It makes sense to me. You sound like a communist to me, to be honest, Jack. Don't do it. You sound like a communist to me. You sound like a super communist, actually. Also, I'm gonna ask this: what other streamers do you watch? What is your streamer diet? I know you watch me because you've started watching me right now, but who do you watch apart from me? What is your content creation diet? Typical content creation diet. I know this creator, Rosocialix. I'm far from. It doesn't seem that way. You seem very communist to me, and I would know. I was born in the Soviet bloc. I can smell a communist. I can sense a communist from a mile away, and you trip my communist radar. You trip it really badly. You think you're a communist. I watch long form podcasts. By whom? By whom? Do you watch any? You don't watch any streamers like Destiny? Do you watch Destiny? Usually low viewership, but different perspective from different nations. Is that why you decided to click on my stream? To get a perspective from a different nation? Does that mean that you're gonna return to my streams in the future to get my Polish perspective? Have I earned a viewer? Have you subscribed to this channel? You should. You should become a subscriber. Alright, let's continue. Christian nationalist. Yeah, I have before. He's a baby. Do you watch Loner Box? Do you watch Loner Box? Or is he also a baby? Yeah, I'll subscribe. Nice. Thank you. Excellent. All right, let's continue.
Though. So, like, if you have to get antibiotics, but again, it's such a small personal cost, it doesn't really matter. And you can get private insurance.
Wait, one nation under God. Who do you consider to be part of the nation? I don't know who that is. Oh. I know it's a little bit. I know it's demanding of me, but what political streamers do you know? You know Destiny. Do you know anyone else? I mean, technically speaking, I hate to be this person, Zocialix, but technically speaking, whether or not you believe God to be real, Jesus being a son of God to be real, talking snakes, etc., Christianity itself is quite real. Okay? Whether or not you believe the whole supernatural aspect to be actually real, the Christianity as a concept is quite real. The whole church structure, the religious infrastructure, that is quite real. Okay? That is quite real. Is the chatter a believer? Yes. A Christian nationalist. Yeah, I know. I was just being an asshole. I was just being mean. Because that's apparently how streamers gain viewership and clout by being awful to their viewership. Yeah, yeah, I know. I was just teasing a bit. I know. I'm not much of a believer myself, so I would agree.
Insurance that covers just the cost of some of these medications, and it's much cheaper here because the actual amount of coverage they have to
I don't think
cover
you guys
is-
prescribe. I'm not sure if you guys do Ozempic for obesity. I don't think you do.
No, they absolutely do.
I'm looking at Canada.ca, and I see that your LANC receptor agonists are used to treat adult patients with type 2 diabetes. I don't see where they are prescribing these for obesity.
Yeah, that doesn't tell you whether or not doctors will prescribe that for obesity. It's
Yeah,
just
but it's
that
not approved for obesity. It's that, so it's an
Yeah,
off-label
that doesn't
prescription.
mean a doctor can't fucking prescribe it for you.
Okay, sure, but it's the same thing in the U.S. It's an off-label prescription.
Yeah, the problem is you can't get the fucking insurance company to cover it.
Well, hold on. Is that true that no insurance company in the United States will cover off-label prescriptions?
I'm not saying no insurance company is willing to cover it for obesity. I'm sure there are, but many of them won't.
You're just saying this out of nowhere. You have no proof or evidence or any idea whatsoever. What, like, you're just
Wait. Now, Destiny earlier argued that the rejections are perfectly legitimate because the medicine's off-label. But now Destiny turned around in a twist and says, hey, how do you even know if the company's rejected based on it being off-label? When he spent so much time arguing that it's not ridiculous to reject it based off it being off-label, and that it should be rejected based on being off-label, because off-label is not approved, which should be rejected. And now he says, well, maybe it's not. You don't know. Which is it? What's your argument, Destiny? It's so weird.
making this up.
You can... no, I'm not. You can go through the different healthcare providers, see if they will cover Ozempic for obesity specifically.
In
Many of them
Ontario,
won't.
your
And again,
Ozempic
it's because of
prescription
the cost
may
of the
be covered
medication.
by the Ontario Drug Benefit Program, provided you're between 18 to 24, over 65, or meet other eligibility criteria. However, this is only if you're unable to tolerate metformin or if metformin doesn't adequately control your blood glucose levels. So it sounds like here, even for insurance in Ontario, they would only cover it for diabetes.
What, for weight loss?
Or I don't even know if they would help you pay for this in Canada for
Well,
weight
again,
loss.
it's not nearly as big of a fucking deal because it's cheaper here anyway. It's about 5 times cheaper.
That's because the government has greater bargaining power with the pharmacy stuff to make the medicine cheaper, by the way. That's another aspect that's not really being discussed.
Okay. So then what is the claim? What is your issue in the United States? Do you think that no insurance company covers Ozempic for weight loss?
That's not what I said. I literally just clarified this.
Okay,
This
what
is
is
a
your,
very low level debate. I'm sorry. This is a weak debate. I'm disappointed in this debate. Should I continue? Should I even continue? Greater Rain, can you start a poll? I feel like just quitting. Honestly, I feel I'm done. Maybe. Should I continue? Yes. No. There you go. Start the poll. I'm tired. I'm tired of this debate. I feel tired. The question is, Does the audience feel tired? As tired as I am? One vote said no. Continue. Wow, I did not expect that. I wonder who voted no. Let's wait for more than one vote, okay? Let's wait for more than one person to vote. No, it's 2 votes, 50-50. Your brain got broken during COVID, and now you're dealing with severe mental health complete. Oh, it's called long-term COVID. That's the professional name. But 4chan memes. Oh my gosh. I'm happy that I have reoccurring viewers. I'm starting to accrue. We're gonna talk about a few Ukraine-related topics today, by the way. I'm gonna be talking about a few Ukraine-related topics. Because I do have a few prepared. Actually. Oh wow, so much for Blue Sky. Nobody cares about my posts on Blue Sky. How do I... Still waiting? Let me see. Oh, yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay, now I get it. Okay, we're gonna talk about Vladimir Putin. Ridiculous, but... Ridiculous and stupid, but we have to talk about the topic. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to... I'm sorry to do this to you, but... Even if something's extremely silly, we still have... Okay, we're quitting the debate. Thank God. Lucy, how are you today? Ill. Ill and unwell. I feel a bit better now because I have things to look forward to, but apart from that, I feel very ill. I got some good news and I have things to look forward to, so especially that apple butter. I'm looking forward to that. What's the best thing to... Okay, before we move on to politics, what's the best thing to eat apple butter with? Can somebody... Actually, Jack, don't do it. Do you like apple butter? Let's see if you're a real American. Do you like apple butter? Have you ever... Well, you must have eaten it. What is your recommendation when it comes to apple butter? What should I eat it with? Jack, don't do it. Because I'm about to receive a jar. I've never eaten it. As a Red-blooded American. Toast? I could. Oh, interesting. Greater Rain said toast, and you said toast as well. So it feels to be like a bipartisan thing. Bipartisan topic. Okay, I'm gonna eat it with a toast. I have a toaster. I'm gonna buy toast bread. I'm gonna toast myself a toast, and then I'm gonna eat it with the apple butter. Thank you. I've got an opinion from an ultra leftist and from a MAGA voter, which means that it has to be true. If people say the same thing across the aisle, across the political spectrum, the advice was the same. Interesting. Do you know Old Bay? Do you use Old Bay? Jack, don't do it. What do you think of Old Bay? Another greatest invention of the United States of America. Angel cake. I think Biden is going to try to make the world burn before he gets out of... No, I said Old Bay, the spice. I didn't mean Biden when I said Old Bay. I meant Old Bay. OLDBAY, the spice. You don't know the spice Old Bay? You just think I was talking about Biden. I wasn't. Okay? I was talking about the spice. Oh yeah, I forgot. I might as well talk about it today. The government's about to shut down because Trump's spending thing was rejected by a lot of Republicans, which is very funny. Very funny indeed. Yes, I like Old Bay. Okay. I'm gonna do the ultimate test if you're a real American, okay? I'm gonna judge if you're a real American. What is your favorite state? What is your favorite state in America? What is the best state? This is going to be the ultimate test of your patriotism. There's only one correct answer to that one. What is your favorite state? We passed it already. Well, no, it was rejected. They've not passed it. Texas. I mean, I have family in Texas, so sort of fair enough. Since I have family in Texas, Austin. So I have family in Austin, but the best state is Maryland, so you fail. You fail as an American. If your answer was not Maryland, then you have failed. Okay? When have you last checked? Can you link me an article about it? Because last time I checked, it was rejected. Unless some big changes were made to it, then I don't know. Could we? Oh my gosh, I love pancakes. I have to eat some pancakes. Oh my god, the internet is right. What the hell is in Maryland? Are you real? Are you for real? Oh my god, you're not an American. You're not a real American. You're a fake American. Did you say that you were American first? Did you say America first, huh? Make America great again. And you asking me what the hell is in Maryland? You're not an American first. You're an American last. First of all, Maryland is known as a state that is called the America in miniature. Okay? It is all the best things of America inside of it. That's first. Second of all, Maryland has the biggest amount of historical buildings in the entirety of the United States, which means that if you want to learn the history of America firsthand, you go to Maryland. And you breathe in the culture and the history. If you did not know that, how can you say you're an American first? I say, if you don't know that, you're an American last. If you don't know that, you're an American last. Okay? I'm ashamed. I'm ashamed. How can you even ask that? What the hell is in Maryland? Ridiculous. It is ridiculous for you to ask that and then turn around and proudly say, I'm an American first. What a lie. You're a liar. Ridiculous. I'm sorry. Why would you say such a ridiculous thing? Why would you say that? I hadn't considered using it with meat before. I mean, apple goes well with meat, so it makes sense to me. But I can see how that would work. Get some pork chops, rub with savory spices, top with the apple butter, and maybe some rosemary and real butter, and bake, and I left it caramelize and marinate. Yeah, apple goes well with meat, so that makes sense to me. How big is the jar? How long will it last me? I actually haven't considered asking how big the butter is. I make my own fate. Yeah, you make your own fate, but you're still ignorant about your own country. How can you explain that to me? How can you be American first and be so ignorant about your own country? Please tell me. This is angering. Whatever. I'm done. I'm done with this topic. It just makes me annoyed. It just makes me annoyed. I forgot the ounces. It's a good sized jar. Yes! Ignorant! You asked me what the hell is in Maryland. That's ignorance incarnate. That's the essence of ignorance. To ask such a question is the essence, pure, concentrated essence of ignorance. How can you say that? How can you even say that? I don't even know what to say. If you're a true American patriot, then you would know. You would know. You would know which state is the best. You really don't. I'm tired of subsidizing countries that do not want to ascend to greatness but live off of our generous. What do you mean? Maryland is a state within the U.S. And it does not live on some generous trade deals. It does well on its own. Thank you very much. And it's not subsidized. Thank you very much. What are you talking about? Are you dissing the best state like that? Why are you doing it dirty like that? You should be ashamed. Whatever. We're getting. We're moving. We're moving on. We're moving on. What topic did I want to go for next? Okay, to lower the draft age. West Russian general. War. Several countries interested in deploying peacekeepers. That's interesting. Russian missiles. Oh, we're gonna talk about this. How will it end? Maryland has no place in my mind, brother. Yeah, and that's what makes you not a real American patriot, is what I'm saying. Never again say I'm an American first, okay? If you, after what you just said, never again say I'm an American first, okay? Because that's a lie. Never again say I'm an American first after what you've just said. All right. Whenever someone types brother at the end of sentences, I read it as a country accent. I mean, the person's probably from rural Texas or something, from what I'm seeing. They said Texas was their favorite state. I assume they're not from Austin. I assume they're from rural Texas. That is why, that is the canon in my head. This is my in-head explanation. I want to read about this. You do not understand America. Well, clearly I understand it better than you. From what I'm seeing. It's embarrassing. I'm from Poland and I understand the spirit of America better than you. Aren't you ashamed that a Polish person of all people understands America better than you? Mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm. Oh, that was not directed at me. Never mind. Texas is their favorite? Yes. Texas is their favorite state. Which I find I mean, whatever. I have family in Texas, so I cannot diss Texas too much since I have family there, but it's whatever. That's the best state, okay? This. See? I get it. See, Jack, don't do it. I understand what the best thing is. Lucy, your family chose poorly. I mean, Austin is technically speaking, a pretty good place to be. It's a pretty big exception within Texas, to be fair. Okay, you have to admit Austin is a little bit of an outliner from the rest of Texas. Suspend. I don't think he said suspend. I think he said terminate. I think he actually said terminate, not suspend. The cities are exceptions usually, yeah. That's because people in the cities are educated. I hate to be that person to say it, but yeah, it's because the cities are usually educated. Cities are educated. That is entertainment. Hold on, I'm gonna snipe President Sunday's stream for a bit and see what he's up to before we move on, okay? This is all very... Oh, wait, what? What is he watching? Hold on. What are you watching? Who is this? Is this not so erudite?
That comes with it. I think I enjoy it a lot. When streaming is fun, I really enjoy it. But there's a lot of cons that come with streaming that don't come with like any other type of content creation or back-end management. Specifically like the drama and stuff that comes with it.
It's not so erudite.
Person, and I think necessarily streaming is live. You're gonna say things that are not well put, that people will be upset about. And the problem is that if the streaming space was less like parasitic and toxic, if I like said something on stream and I was like, oh yeah, that's probably not the best thing to say, I could just be like, I mean, yeah, like it wasn't worded the best. I was live. I apologize. Here's like a better way to frame that.
So you're complaining about the streamer space being too parasitic, Kyla? Kyla, you are a parasite. You are advocating for your erasure.
Same point. But because how the space is, if you think that the clip of you saying I was
like Kyla, what is your business if not leeching off of the growth and the engagement of another streamer?
Uh-oh.
You haven't been producing.
I've been producing, okay? Oh, shots fired from Lucy at the rural folk. I mean, unfortunately, there's a correlation to the level of education and certain beliefs. It's unfortunate. I have nothing against rural folk. It speaks more to the bad state that the education system in the US is, honestly, if anything. And it's in a pretty bad state. And that includes the cities, by the way. Yes. Yes, she did. Also, I have a question for you, Jack, don't do it. How do you feel about school funding being tied to taxes? How do you feel about the school funding being tied to property tax? Do you think it's a good thing? Do you think it's a bad thing? I feel like I need to get an answer from Jack Don't Do It. I want to get a feel if they think that the U.S. Education system is in a good place or not. Not so erudite. Not so erudite. Not so erudite. Okay, I'm being ignored. I'm being ignored by Jack Don't Do It. I want to snipe President Sunday for a bit because I have to say that the not so erudite bit is a bit entertaining. So I gotta, let's see, stream, whatever, stream announcements. We're gonna watch President Sandy for a bit, and then we're gonna talk about Poland's demand of Hungary to extradite a criminal. Hungary has 60 days to decide if it will hand over wanted Polish ex-official. There's tension between Poland and Hungary right now. Lettuce, you're probably familiar, right? So much.
And the clock is ticking. She is screaming on that phone.
Not like this.
Jack, don't do it.
Like
Do you want to
the
call
streaming
in
industry,
to my
it's-
stream and
streaming
debate
is this
me?
like weird amalgamation of like it's kind of like radio, it's kind of like reality TV, and it's kind of like paparazzi, like all at the same time. And just to be clear, if you enjoy watching that,
Does she know what paparazzi is?
No.
Paparazzi is when people follow you around and take pictures. Streaming is not like paparazzi. What?
No,
I get
it's
it
not.
because I love reality TV, but it can be really stressful to be in the midst of, and I don't know if I'm super good at it. So
No, you're really not.
I've
Oh
had
my
like
gosh,
probably
that's so
admittedly, like
harsh.
a lower motivation as well. I have a lot of content that I would like to film. That I'm
Yeah, the spot on her head is massive. I don't know, wear a hat or something.
excited to do. I just need to
Like, it's hard to feel bad. It's like,
You should debate Ukraine. You should debate your bro on Ukraine if you feel like it.
the stuff that is giving her stress is her aggressively attempting to undermine.
I'm
her
pumped
own
with
people in her
estrogen.
own
It
country's
should be an
efforts to
easy
get a
win
better
for
life
you.
for themselves, so that she can continue to be a professional liar at a professional liar's mansion in a different country. And I just every
What?
hair that falls from her scalp is doing the work of God.
Oh my god, that's so mean.
finish setting. I need like a second mic in here.
Actually, I'm very sensitive
email
about
a
my
couple
hair,
people for a couple of interviews
believe it
that
or
I
not.
had sent
Especially
back for, like,
since
pre-recorded
before
content.
It's not
before I
localized.
before I
Here's what
started
happens. Okay, so,
HRT,
is it
my hair was
I always
thinning out.
get the actual.
It regrew when I started, but I'm pretty sensitive about the topic of my hair.
So it's called telogen effluvium. Okay. And here's how it works. I learned about this last year.
Oh my god.
It causes. It's not like baldness.
Oh my
It
god.
causes general thinning. I was never this bad, fortunately. But general thinning.
Oof.
And it's thinnest at the top first, because at the top your hair doesn't fall down over it, it falls from. And so what you're witnessing here appears to be precisely that, because what's happening is not her going bald. What's happening is general thinning, which is more pronounced at the top. And you can see, like,
I
hair is
had
black,
that
my
actually.
black, but you can see directly through to the pink underneath. And that's something that'll fix itself with
I had
control of
that. Yeah, but I
stress
had
and
the
so on and so
thinning.
forth.
Okay, I had the thinning thing, because I once went
Personally,
to
I would just shave it off, but that's just me.
I once went to a hairdresser, and the hairdresser was like, "Your hair is so thin. Your hair is so thin. What sort of stressful lifestyle do you lead?" And that was many years ago. Many years ago. And I was like, "Oh God, your life must be so stressful."
What
sort of stress do you go through in your daily life?
Kind of how Lonerbox has it separated. So we'll see. We'll see if I separate the
Right.
streaming channel from like the pre-recorded.
And
just, like, once I'm
HRT
gonna do, like, this
really
new
helped me
series,
with the
I
hair
just wanted to take my
problem.
feminine-
Just starting to
feminizing
regrow.
series and kind of branch that into a pretty
No, it doesn't make any sense. Lonerbox delists his streams on both. The only thing is he has a main channel where he puts essays of a particular kind, and then he has the live channel where he puts live segments. That's what it is. It's not the live stream channel. This is the segments from the live channel. The streams he has, the VODs themselves, are unlisted, so they don't affect him in the algorithm.
deep dive exploration, talking with women about womanity basically, and having like pretty raw, brutal conversations at times. Like I want to talk to like a fundamentalist pastor and be like, this is like how fundamental Christianity I think is like really harmful for women, and I think it's bad, and I don't think it's Christ, and why are you doing this? I want to talk to the sex workers and like get their perspective on like how they might be harming womanity by their work.
Looking into fallback career
Sex
options,
workers are
Like,
harming
how the beauty
humanity.
standards, how that's impacting other women and what they think about that. How they
Leave
reconcile
sex
with it.
workers
So,
alone,
yeah,
God.
I wanna
Leave
do
them
that series.
alone.
I'm really excited.
Sounds like Ammo is willing to do it with me. I'm looking
Sex
right now
workers are
for
not
a
hurting
lawyer, a female
humanity,
lawyer,
whatever
and a
the
couple of other
word
people I'd
humanity is.
really
That even a
ideal
word?
rad fam. Like if I could get
Like, is the word humanity a word?
rad fam Hitler, that would be
Jesus, leave sex workers alone. Leave them alone. They're good people, okay?
amazing.
I feel like these people aren't event streamers anymore, or aren't even streamers anymore. More like full-time Destiny serfs.
Full time.
It's weird. Like J Stock's whole channel, for example. I've been on there a couple times.
Full time Destiny serves. Oh, that is funny. Not streamers anymore. You're not dealing with an average streamer anymore. That's right. I realized the legend that you fear. I have become a Destiny serf. Gosh. Ugh. You're not dealing with an average streamer anymore.
Pretty useless, empty man. Makes a lot of money, though. But he makes a lot of money because essentially Destiny's given up doing his normal drama content, and he's made his channel sort of his outhouse. So
What?
it's like none of these people are producing their own content.
So
They're just
weird.
spidering off and taking over existing things that are already tied to this other person. And it's just about this other person.
Huh.
It's a very weird thing to observe. And again, like, it has no staying power. Like, none of this stuff can last. Even Destiny, I think, is slowly on his way out. He's been spinning out, like, not in the sense of like disappearing. Just people don't. He's gonna be like Keemstar. He's gonna be doing this till he's in his 60s. But
Oh my god.
I don't know. There's been a switch.
I mean,
People-
he's making
people
a
aren't
lot
really-
of money.
I've noticed an atmosphere change in all of this.
What is the atmosphere change?
Wouldn't be surprised if he's making good money off that for now, at least. He's making a lot of money, is my understanding.
I wish I was making
There's
a lot of
money
money.
in being a Destiny Cabana boy.
But yeah, I think that'll be probably on the second channel. I think that's going to be algorithmically the best bet. Whereas I think probably this channel will stay more dedicated to like culture, like broad culture. My
Culture.
goal for Not So Erudite, I have like 3 lenses that I've figured out, which is going to be, and by lenses I mean these are the things that I want every single video to be a takeaway from, excluding obviously this video, which is going to be.
I should discuss what I want for my channel. Would you like to? Would any one of you would like me to discuss with the audience, with you, what I want for the channel? Do you want to partake? You want to listen to my plans for the channel? Or are you not interested? I mean, you're obviously interested. You're watching. You're here. You have to be interested to a degree. Are you? Write in the chat. Stop arguing. Surely some of you are interested to know what my plans for the channel are, right? The all-consuming spiral of drama content. I don't really do drama content, which maybe explains my viewership. So I'm probably going to start releasing some more pre-made content. I'm gonna take the things that I've done in Ukraine for one, and I'm going to attempt to try releasing some of the things that I've done in Ukraine in order to some interviews that I've done in order to give people something to watch from Ukraine. That's one. Kinda of interested. Cool, yo. And second thing, I'm gonna do maybe more video essays type of content about history, politics. I am sort of politics, well, a historian, so to speak. Listen, if What If Hist can call himself a historian, then I am a historian as well. Okay? If that is a title that What If Hist can comfortably label himself with, then I also feel comfortable calling myself that. All right? Do you agree? Do you see me as a historian? So that's it. More content from Ukraine, more video essays. And I think I'm going to I'm thinking. I'm thinking. Slow down. Maybe slowing down is a thing as well. To sort of capture more of a bigger audience. I mean, I have some new viewers today. Jack Don't Do It is a pretty... Just discovered me today. Jack Don't Do It. Do you feel like you'll be returning to my streams? Even though basically we don't agree on anything. Do you feel like you'd like to come back and watch more of this stream? This might be a very bizarre thing to ask, but I'm still asking it. Maybe Jack Don't Do It has me muted now. But I'm still asking. Would you consider coming back? Or is this your first and last time watching this stream? As a MAGA voter, what do you like about this stream and what do you not like about this stream? That is the most I think this is the most interesting interaction. This is the most... I am most curious. Of all people I've asked this, now I'm really curious if there's anything actually that you like about this stream. Or is there anything that you dislike? I'm very curious about your answer to that. I'm curious if you're gonna answer at all. I hope you're gonna answer. What do you think about my plans, Greater Rain? Yeah, I'll return. Oh, nice. Wait, if you'll return, then what do you think? What do you like about this stream? I guess my question is more legitimate than I thought. What do you like about it? I like the conversation. Okay, that's fair enough. I guess I make for a good conversationalist. Well then, welcome. Welcome to the fold. Welcome to the fold of the viewers. Welcome to this viewer pool. I'm glad that I was able to entice you into becoming a viewer. All right, let's continue sniping President Sunday for a bit, and then we're gonna go to political topics.
Gender, just gender dynamics in general, psychology/science, and metacognition.
Okay, so you're gonna fail because nobody cares about that. You're not an expert in anything, and you're too dumb to make that interesting. That is incredibly boring, even if it's done well. Go back to the drawing board.
That is so mean. That is extremely boring, even if it's done well. Oh my god, what a thing to say. That is such a harsh judgment. Oh my god. I thought for a while now that video essays would be viable and even beneficial avenue for you, particularly with your ongoing Ukraine war. Yeah, I think so. I should release some curated content. I have the material for it.
Would be my earnest recommendation.
Oh my god. Go back to the drawing board. I mean, I should sort of go back to the drawing board, even though I'm pretty proud that I've earned a viewer today. But I'm thinking of going back to the drawing board. What's that mean? What's what mean? Are you asking me or are you asking someone in the chat?
As you guys know, I'm really
Also, I would love to know what you think metacognition means.
Concerned with how people think. I want to think well as much as possible.
Think well. How do you think unwell? Is my question.
Oh, I didn't even notice that pop bottle there. Well, oopies. Yeah, I'm concerned with how people think, and I want to do more.
Think well, eat well, rest well. Is my recommendations.
Content about that. I think psychology and science is where I'm happiest. I'm pretty burnt.
How people think isn't metacognition. Metacognition has to do with your individual awareness of your thought processes. I don't know.
Maybe
what...
President Sunday should do a show about mega cognition. He seems to be an expert. President Sunday should be like, I am your expert. I just am. When it comes to metacognition, I am your expert. I just am. I just am.
But I don't know what the hell she's talking about.
Out of politics. I was, again, this is a video
Like
for
maybe mindfulness meditation. I don't know.
another day as well, but I'm basically I walked away from working with the Democrats being like, if you guys win, you don't deserve it. Fuck you guys. Also Republicans, fuck you too. You suck. All of you politicians, you all suck. All of you political workers, most of you not very nice people. Don't like the
Oh.
culture. Fuck you guys.
Oh.
But that
Kyla, they're all like you, just competent. That's what you're like.
Oh no. Oh no. Well, it happens.
And you simped for all of these people. For how long?
Long enough.
You're just upset because you're at the bottom of the ladder. I'm sorry you're a loser. I don't know what to tell you. Maybe spend some time off stream and develop a personality so you don't have to do this anymore. I don't...
that's a video for another day.
Do I have a personality? Chat, do I have a personality? To my name?
Like, yeah, she was just bragging about going to the DNC a little while ago. What's the...
I guess it's paused.
It's like a parody.
I didn't answer any of these questions. Looking forward.
No, you
finally,
should
what
get
do you-
one.
What's one thing you hope people
Okay,
take away from
what
me?
sort of
this festival is gonna
personality
say
do you
that it's
recommend that I
correctly
get,
happening?
Moho?
What work?
I hope you guys check out Bridges and
Oh,
enjoy it.
thank you.
That's like where I'm putting.
That's
on.
a big ask, my dude. I've tried. What did you miss? Nothing. We're ending off soon. We're going to go into, it looks like Jack Strike versus Destiny's winning. But I'll let the poll go until I get back, okay? So you guys will have time. You guys will have time before the theory segment starts.
My lifeblood into. I'm really excited about it. I think it's really fun.
You
So I hope
indeed have a
guys watch Bridges,
personality.
enjoy it, and,
The question is it a cringe
as always,
personality or a great
big hugs.
personality?
big kisses.
Ugh.
Think well,
No.
and I hope you have a day as wonderful as you are. I'm sure.
Think well and prosper. Or something. You should get like a real debater personality. Are you saying that I've got a fake debater personality? Where you call people like dishonest all the time? Okay. Oh.
I hope you have a day as wonderful as you.
And ask them if they're looking good right now. When they say something weird. What? Do you think you're looking good right now? After what you've said. You think you're looking good? You're looking bad. You're looking super bad. Worst. Worst look. Bad look.
You are too. All right. I'm going to disappear for a few minutes. Guys, there's a...
He disappeared for more than a few minutes. Just saying. He disappeared for more than a few minutes. He's still gone, isn't he? You're still gone. You've disappeared for more than a few minutes. That's enough. You've disappeared for more than a few minutes. You keep your word. And tell people you can make their argument better for them. Listen, I'm just gonna stop you right here. I'm just gonna stop you and tell you that I already know what you're gonna say. I'm gonna say it better. I'm gonna say it better for you. And now I'm gonna bring it down. I'm gonna tell your argument for you. And I'm gonna tell you why it's bad. Why it sucks. How's that? Does that work? Perfect. That's perfect. Ugh. Maybe you're right, Moho. Maybe I should get that sort of personality. That's my destiny. But it's pretty dark when you understand the extent they go to capture a generation. Perfect rhetoric. See? I'm learning. I'm a fast learner. I try. I do my best. Even though it doesn't show, but I really do my best to be a correct streamer. Where's the browser thing? I have to... There you go. Wait, why is it cut like that? That's better. That's better. That's more like it, isn't it? Oh, left of the box. Streaming right now. Alright, let's talk about this. Because apparently, TLDR, Polish politician did a bad, run to Hungary, found asylum in Hungary, Poland is angry, and Viktor Orban has actually made an announcement. I think he said, Viktor Orban has said that Poland is a rainbow coalition, that there's a rainbow coalition in Poland. There seem to be cracks within the European Union. Poland is a rainbow coalition, even though it's by far the worst country when it comes to the LGBT. It's worse than Hungary, actually, when it comes to the LGBT. But still, it did not stop Viktor Orban from saying that Poland is basically a rainbow coalition and that everybody that is being persecuted in Poland for political reasons, for not going woke, can find asylum in the glorious country of Hungary. I'm not joking. That actually happened. Orban has made an announcement that you all persecuted poor Polish people for your beliefs. You can just come here to Hungary and be safe. Which is pretty funny to me. Hungary has 60 days to decide if it will hand over wanted Polish ex-official EU executive. Poland is really angry about this. There's real and huge crisis about this, I guess. So it's a bit of a problem when these sort of things happen within the European Union, when Hungary is showing this sort of philosophy when it comes to the integrity of the European Union. Budapest has 60 days to decide. Basically, we've already read this. Okay, so this is the most important information about this thing. A Warsaw court on Thursday issued a European arrest warrant on Marcin Romanowski, a deputy justice minister in Poland's previous government, as part of an investigation into alleged abuse of public funds. See, so like many other law and justice officials, like many other law and justice politicians, he's done a little bit of abuse here, abuse there, a little bit of bending the rules over there. And now that law and justice is not here anymore to protect him, measures have to be taken to avoid responsibility. In this case, it's seeking refuge in Hungary because there are a lot of investigation. There's a lot of investigation happening against former ruling party politicians because they don't have they do not enjoy the protections that they have enjoyed pretty much for the last 10 years. So look here. Hungary confirmed the same day that it had granted Romanovsky political asylum in a move that caused anger in Warsaw and further strained already sour relations between Budapest and Warsaw. Relations that, by the way, under the Law and Justice Party used to be great. I would like to remind you that not so long ago, the relationship between Poland and Hungary was absolutely stellar. Hungary would break European Union regulations. Poland would break European regulations, each of them in their own separate ways. And then Hungary would have Poland's back. Poland would have Hungary's back. It is a little bit of a symbiotic thing that was happening between Poland and Hungary as long as Law and Justice was in power. But at the end of 2023, the Law and Justice Party has ceased to be in power, no longer in power, and this sort of relationship also has come to an end. And this, with time, has created tension between these countries. Also, it's about their relationship to countries like Ukraine. Poland is very pro-Ukraine. Hungary, under Viktor Orban, is not quite pro-Ukraine. In fact, even under the Law and Justice Party, even when the Law and Justice Party was in charge and had Hungary's back, near the start of the invasion, Viktor Orban, in a public speech, said that Zelensky is his enemy. He declared Zelensky to be his enemy. I don't think many remember this, but that is something that Viktor Orban has said near the start of the invasion. Zelensky is my enemy. And even the Law and Justice ran Poland basically turned around and said, "What did you just say? What was that? What? We must have misheard you. Did you just say that Zelensky was your enemy?" That alone managed to create a crack in relations between even the Law and Justice Party and Viktor Orban. And now that Law and Justice is firmly not in power, these differences in views became more and more pronounced as time went on. Poland is extremely pro-supporting Ukraine, pro-military support of Ukraine. As we know, Hungary under Viktor Orban is completely against it. In fact, oftentimes Hungary has framed Poland as being a warmongering country that tries to involve Europe into war. Hungary has framed itself, Viktor Orban has framed himself as a defender of the Hungarian people against being pulled into war. So as you can see, these attitudes have been, there's been a clash of attitudes, you could say, between Poland and Hungary. And of course, Russia has been trying to meddle into these countries' affairs. It does not have to meddle into Hungary as much because Viktor Orban has been very favorable towards Putin. But there's this looming situation over the region that is happening in the background of events like this. The meddling in Romania, which in practice would mean that if Russia gets its way, Poland might end up the only pro-Ukrainian country that borders Ukraine. Think about it. The asylum decision was described by the Polish Foreign Ministry as being against elementary principles binding on European Union member states. Yeah, basically. It is really weird that Polish tries to prosecute a person and another European Union state says, yeah, you know what? You'll find asylum here. In fact, anybody who's persecuted by the evil Polish government are gonna find asylum here. That is the current state of affairs when it comes to this part of the world. It seems like the European Commission has taken Poland's side on this. The European Commission spokesman Stefan de Kersmaker said on Friday that under EU law, an asylum application from one EU country to another can only be granted in exceptional circumstances. And trust me, this is not an exceptional circumstance. And a politician of law and justice that abused the system to misuse funds, that's not an exceptional case. That is not a case that warrants this asylum status. So we already know that to be the case. This is because the member states of the bloc, which includes Poland and Hungary, are considered safe in terms of protection of fundamental rights and freedoms. Exactly. Like, you basically have the assumption of if somebody's accused of something, they're gonna get a fair trial. They're not just gonna be, it's not gonna be a sham trial. It's not gonna be some witch hunt. We're gonna make a farce and just sentence this guy to whatever. It has to be a fair trial. There's this assumption within the European Union. The investigation of Romanowski is part of a wider probe into alleged criminality during the 8-year rule of Poland's right-wing Law and Justice, as I've said before. There's a lot of these happening right now because, believe it or not, Law and Justice, let's just say that they were pretty confident that they're going to continue being in power. And so they were pretty shameless in their abuse of power in many cases. They were pretty shameless in their abuse of finance. They were pretty shameless in making sure to make their lives comfortable. It was a pretty bad government, to put it simply. Ruling Poland's right-wing Law and Justice party, which is closely allied with nationalist Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban. What a shocker. What a shocker that Viktor Orban would cover for the people that were closely allied to him. This is like the Viktor Orban person that tried to buy Polish private media until the Polish government reacted and put it on the list of the companies that are necessary for Poland, that have strategic value for the Polish state. Romanowski, who was a deputy justice minister from 2019 to 2023, faces charges including participation in an organized criminal group, rigging public funding competitions, and embezzling over 107 million zlotys, 25 million euro. I told you, law and justice politicians were very good at making their lives comfortable. A lot of them. And there was a huge expectations, especially inside of the party itself, that moving on, the party would continue to be in charge. Which is why those things, as time went on, became more and more shameless because they expected the continuation of the protection that the party would provide. But unfortunately, that came to an end. So now poor law and justice politicians are forced to become asylum seekers. How unfortunate. What a sad reality to find yourselves in when your protectorate falls and you have to do what you have to do to survive. Sad, 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 and depressing. Polish prosecutors claim he directed staff to favor specific organizations in funding allocations and authorized grants to entities that failed to meet formal requirements. We call that corruption, by the way. I'm just gonna point it out. We call that corruption. That, according to critics of Poland's former nationalist administration, was part of a larger pattern that saw the previous government misusing public funds on a mass scale to further its own political aims, while eroding democratic norms and destroying the rule of law. That has been a long thing, long discussed thing. A lot of people expected that if Law and Justice would have won the latest election, it probably would have been the last election, because the Law and Justice was pretty deep into eroding democracy. I'll tell you that. Romanowski is the highest profile official to date, targeted as part of a probe launched after Poland's centrist Prime Minister Donald Tusk took office following parliamentary elections last year. Romanowski has denied the accusation against him and claims that his case is politically motivated. That is a funny way to say it. This political investigation, this investigation of a politician, politically motivated. There we go. Hungary is a protectorate for criminals, as it seems. How fitting. How fitting for Hungary to take on that glorious role. Well, I've given you a glimpse. I've given you a glimpse into Polish politics. In a way, I've given you a glimpse into Hungary politics. Also, I've just noticed a chatter saying something really interesting. It's a dog-eat-dog world. That sounds like a thing a Russian would say. Jack, don't do it. Are you sure you're American? You sure you're not Russian? You sure there's not a drop of Russian blood running through your veins? Not a little bit of that Ruski Mir inside of you? Not at all? None whatsoever? That's two. That's gonna be two. 2 for 1. Oh yeah, I forgot. I guess we're gonna just tackle 2 things at once. We'll just let me see if I have anything that has picture of Putin on it, so I can talk about a bit about Vladimir Putin. Well, yeah, you see, Lucy, siding with Russia and ghosting Ukraine is considered to be cool and based in some part of the West. It's as cool and based as wearing Hugo Boss uniform in Weimar Republic. True. True. And real. We're gonna be talking about Vladimir Putin a little bit because he's being active, as always. He has been active in threatening everybody all the time. Reform Weimar Republic. Do you believe in climate change? Jack, don't do it. Do you believe in it? Yes, Greater Rain? How can I help you? How can I be of service to you on this fine, not day, it's more like night. I'm sleepy. Wait, it's so early though in the US. I should be sleepy. It's 2 a.m. It's 2:30 a.m. I should be sleepy. Instead you are. What's up with that? It's so early where you are. I don't know. Is it like 7 p.m., 8 p.m. or something? I don't know. I mean, that's Putin's job, threatening people and then doing nothing or failing to do what he says. Ay, ay, ay. Very opinionated. That's very angry. That's very early to go to sleep, isn't it? 8 p. Is that the normal time that you go to sleep? 8 p.m. I get up early for work. At work, it makes me sleep. Fair enough. Fair enough. You got your sleep cycle. You got your sleep schedule. You got your sleep schedule to keep up with. All right, I'm gonna talk about Putin a bit, and then I'm gonna go to sleep. Well, sleep. I'm not exactly sleep. I have a few things to do, but let's look for something that has Putin in it. Not this. Not this. Not this. Not this. Don't I have anything? Come on, I have to have something. Surely I have something with Putin in it. Do I? Don't I have any article with Putin in it? With a Putin photo? Biden administration to announce its final 1.2 billion Ukrainian retrieve bodies. Russia captures Uspenivka pocket. Ukraine denies her part of failed breakout. Where are you, Putin? Ukraine must decide between carrying on the fight or looking to negotiate ceasefire. Wow, what a. Okay, I'm not even gonna comment on that. Well, there we go. Putin says full-scale invasion of Ukraine should have been earlier. What? Okay, before I start talking about the thing that I wanted to talk about, I'm gonna briefly read this. What's happening? No, let's see work a lot as sleep. Now I have to work more. Sorry, Dory. I have to work more. I have to not be lazy. Laziness is the enemy of progress. Full-scale invasion should have been earlier. In a marathon press conference lasting for over 4 hours, this press conference has produced a lot of interesting insights. I'm going to be talking about them. I'm going to be talking about all the interesting insights that this press conference has produced about Poland, about Ukraine. I guess I'm just going to do like a joint thing about it. I'm going to do a little bit of a discussion of the press conference right now, since this seems to be on the topic. So what did he say? A full-scale invasion of Ukraine should have begun earlier. We've done it too late. That's the takeaway. We should have attacked earlier. When asked what he would have done differently if he could go back to February 2022, the month Russia launched its all-out war against Ukraine, Putin responded, "Knowing what's happening now, back in 2022, I would have thought the decision out to have been taken earlier." I would have thought the decision ought to have been taken earlier, he continued. We ought to have started getting ready for those developments and the special military operation before. That's the takeaway. We should have invaded much earlier. The Kremlin leader also addressed questions about benefits for soldiers. That, of course, it actually made the income inequality less unequal. And also pretty big drain on the Russian economy, but that's neither here nor there. Responding to a question about whether he had learned anything about himself during the war, Putin said, I believe that Russia has become much stronger in the past 2 or 3 years. Why? Because we are becoming a truly sovereign country. We depend on few people apart from North Koreans, Iranians, the Chinese. But you know what? Apart from these people, we depend on no one. We're a sovereign country. Cool. Great. Apart from all these allies that we depend on nobody. We're able to stand on our own feet from an economic point of view. Again, except of all those countries that keep us economically afloat. But apart from those, we're totally independent. We're totally self-sufficient. Please believe us. It's true. It's true. It's totally true. We are strengthening our defense capability. Defense? You mean offense? You're an invader. What do you mean our defense capability? Your offense capability. Good night, Greater Rain. Also, Putin did say during press conference that he got bored and he needs some action. Yeah, he did. He said that about the economy, that it's just, it gets unexciting, and that now the economy is exciting and it's all good. Something along those lines. Yes, it was part of that conference. Despite almost 3 years of ongoing war and the toll of Western sanctions on Russia's economy, Putin attempted to reassure the Russian public, particularly those frustrated by the war and rising inflation. He claimed that Russia was winning the war and that the economy was stable and even growing. However, in a rare admission, he acknowledged that Russia's inflation rate of 9.3%, as reported by the central bank chief, was an alarming signal. Oh, not alarming. It is indeed an alarming signal. But we're not done. We're gonna be talking about a few other revelations that we have heard during this press conference. One of them is a huge warning to the West, a warning to Poland, especially, apparently, as always, because ever since Russia has performed its famous, infamous test of the Oreshnik missile, the hypersonic missile that is so fast nobody can catch it. There's just no chance. There's just no way. No anti-air system in the universe can hope to catch it, to intercept it. And he said there are bases in Poland. There's an anti-air base in Poland. Who knows what would happen if we shot an Oreshnik at it? Who knows what would happen? It would be very interesting for all of us to learn. I doubt it would be intercepted. I think we would just destroy the base. I think Polish people would be screwed. I think he said something similar about Romania, if memory serves. Because I think it has some base as well. But yes, we've been warned that if we step out of line too much, especially when it comes to aiding Ukraine, which is one of the most, well, no, it's the most unforgivable sin, then we must prepare for the wrath of Russia. No place in Western Europe, no place in the world is safe against the Oreshnik missile, which is so fast that no anti-air system could possibly hope to intercept it. That is the warning that has been given during this brilliant press conference. But even more interestingly is how Russia, as Putin puts it, is ready for negotiation. It's ready for all-out negotiation with Ukraine. It is so ready. It's just that Ukraine, first of all, is not ready. Ukraine is very fear-mongering. Ukraine does not want to open up channels of communication again, but that's neither here nor there. There's an even more pressing thing that, in Putin's mind, creates a barrier between Ukraine and Russia, and that is that basically Ukraine is being ruled by an illegitimate tyrant called Zelensky. Zelensky is not a legitimate president in the eyes of the Russian Federation. Why? Because according to Putin, the Ukrainian constitution does not really permit for a president's term to be prolonged, even in the time of war, which means that Ukraine should have had elections and elected a new president mid-warfare, which is brilliant. But listen, Russia has announced that it's willing to give Ukraine some grace. Putin said that while it is absolutely not willing to negotiate any peace with Zelensky, it is willing to talk to the chairman of the Verkhovna Rada, because that is a legitimate person within the Ukrainian government. So yes, the chairman of the Verkhovna Rada, that's the top header of the Verkhovna Rada. That is the person that Putin is willing to speak to when it comes to peace. Because as we all know, Zelensky is basically a dictator in Ukraine who illegitimately just stayed in power indefinitely. Unlike Putin, who via completely fair and free elections just so happens to have once again become the leader of the Russian Federation. I love it. This is the best press conference ever. So what we have learned so far is that the invasion should have happened earlier. That is the biggest takeaway from the entire war. Russia depends on nobody apart from Iran, North Korea, and China. And of course, Russia is willing to talk, but not to Zelensky, who is an illegitimate tyrant. And Poland should be careful about aiding Ukraine because the Oreshnik missile is going to turn it to dust. From dust you came, to dust you return, or something. To dust you turn. It's wise. Those are wise words from the best leader. So there you go. We have learned we have learned a lot of important information today, I feel like. Lucy, and don't forget the part about Putin challenges the West to organize a duel over Kiev. A missile wait. Okay, is that real? Okay, if that's okay, I have to. If that's real, then I have to include it. You have to, okay, you're no, that's not true, is it? If it's true, go to this page, please, and link it to me. I have to see it with my own eyes to believe. I have to see it with my own eyes to actually believe that that happened. I'm very skeptical of the claim. Okay, I'm gonna Google it. Uh, yeah, I'm gonna look for it. Yes, a technological duel of missile systems. See which missile system is better. No, wait, is that real? Okay, okay, I have to. I'm gonna Google it. I'm gonna trust you and I'm gonna Google it. It's true! It's real! It's true! Okay, I'm including this, okay? We're including this. Wow. I must really be ill. I've missed this. Okay, thank you. That's great. We're including this. Oh, yes, we are. A missile duel. That's brilliant. That is amazing. That is the best thing ever. And Zelensky called him a dumbass. Oh my god. And this was part of this conference as well? Okay. Final thing that came out of this conference. Zelensky calling Putin a dumbass. Zelensky calls Putin a dumbass for challenging a missile duel. Oh my goodness. I cannot believe this. But apparently, yeah. Ukraine President Volodymyr Zelensky had a tart response to Russian President Vladimir Putin's annual year-end news conference Thursday. It was part of that conference. It was. Sorry, I've got the sniffles. My apologies. I'm a little bit ill. Hurling a rude epithet at the Kremlin leader in comments online. During the press conference, Putin boasted about the capability of the Oreshnik new nuclear-capable ballistic missile that Russia recently fired at the Ukrainian city of Dnipro. He also repeated an earlier threat to strike Ukraine again with the missile, suggesting that it be fired at Kyiv as a test of Western-supplied air defense equipment. Yeah. But he also said that about Poland. Yeah, that's the duel. Yeah, okay, I get it now. He said that also about Poland. That Poland's anti-air defense would have no chance, or rather the American anti-air defense, that's in Poland, the base, the permanent base. That was actually, believe it or not, I think the Polish base was supposed to be aimed against North Korea, if memory serves, because of the trajectory. I don't want to get into it, but I think it was supposed to be an anti-North Korea base, if you can believe that, because of the intercontinental ballistic missile capability that North Korea. Whatever. No, let's not. Let's just focus on this. Let them propose some kind of technological experiment, a kind of high-tech duel of the 21st century. Let's say, Putin said, let them determine some target to be hit. For example, in Kiev. They concentrate all their air and missile defense forces there, and we will strike there with the Oreshnik, and we'll see what happens. He added, we are ready for such an experiment. In any case, we don't rule it out. We will conduct such an experiment, such a technological duel, and see what happens. It's interesting. I'm pretty sure that he also said that Poland, in its arrogance, has gotten a military base, an American military base that has anti-air capabilities, and that it would not be able to avoid the wrath of Oreshnik. Oreshnik is becoming a meme, honestly. Very quickly, the Oreshnik missile is becoming a meme before our own eyes. Zelensky posted an excerpt of those remarks on X, commenting in English, people are dying and he thinks it's interesting. Dumbass. He also posted a similar comment in Ukrainian. I mean, it's true. I don't even know what to say. Yeah, I already found it. Thanks. Thank you. It's great. So I guess okay, I'm gonna do a little bit of a summary of this segment. All the takeaways that we have from the 4-hour long conference that Putin has done. 1. Permanent Polish U.S. air base, anti-air base, military base will not avoid the wrath of the Oreshnik. In fact, Putin is challenging the West to a duel, a technological duel. Western anti-air versus the Oreshnik, the ultimate weapon, Russia's ultimate weapon. Putin is increasingly hyping up Oreshnik as Russia's ultimate weapon. So I guess I should start referring to it as such moving forward. Second, Zelensky is just a tyrant who is not a legitimate leader, and Putin will absolutely not talk about peace with Zelensky. There's just no chance. And what was the other takeaway? We've covered Oreshnik. We've covered not talking to Zelensky because he's illegitimate. We've covered the duel. Ah, yes. And finally, if anything, the full-scale invasion should have happened earlier. Sounds legitimate. So yeah, this is oh yeah, and the economy is great. I forgot. Yeah, I'm sorry. And last but not least, the Russian economy is doing great and even growing. Russia is not depending on anybody. Russia is stronger than ever. It does not need anybody's help. It definitely does not need to utilize North Korean troops on the ground. It definitely does not depend on military support from North Korea, Iran, and China, because Russia has truly become a sovereign country. That's it. Thank you. We've done the summary. In conclusion, Russia is in a better shape than it has ever been before. It has become stronger than ever. It has it's in its strongest state in its entire history. And that's a wrap. Gosh. Beautiful. Beautiful. All right. I feel like we've streamed for long tonight. So I guess I'm gonna leave you with these revelations. I will leave you with these amazing truths of the Russian conference and rest a bit. If you've enjoyed this amazing spectacle, if you've enjoyed this stream, then I would ask you to consider joining this page and either subscribing or donating, because I have a big payment to make for the battery that gives me electricity in Ukraine during blackouts. Okay? Okay. Thank you. In the meantime, we're going to raid into someone who's on who's who's who is who this who this who this you know what, I'm going to raid into President Sunday. Here you go. I'm going to do a reverse raid. YouTube. Is he back? Let me see. He is back. I'm gonna raid into President Sunday. There you go. A reverse raid. Cool. Alright, thank you. Thank you for your attention. I'll see you tomorrow, which basically is today, technically speaking. So, I'll see you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Finish my little stream.